Even though the man awakened an incredibly rare dual class, he was mocked by his classmates as a useless failure. This was simply because both of his classes were the lowest F rank, and they were the most unvalued ones, repairman and farmer. What they did not know, however, was that the repairman class also granted Jiang Yan a highly powerful innate skill, which allowed him to modify the description of any skill or item. Although he could only change a single character, the resulting effects were drastically different. For example, an iron sword with initially low damage would have its attack power multiplied instantly after he modified it into a steel sword. In his past life, it was precisely because he exposed this extraordinary skill too early that he was immediately brought in by powerful figures to help them turn all sorts of useless items into valuable treasures. As a result, the higher-ups of the Hunter Association both feared and desired his exceptional skill. Using protection as an excuse, they kept him confined like a caged mouse. Whether he was socializing or entering the demon caves to hunt monsters and level up, there were always individuals with much higher levels watching his every move. The powerful figures in the association were afraid that he might die in an accident, but they were even more terrified that he might defect and run away. This continued until the night a massive level 96 dragon monster emerged from the Nanrong City demon cave. It simply unleashed an explosive dragon breath spell on the city center, instantly melting the entire downtown area. Seeing that he was about to be swallowed by the flames, Jiang Yan immediately modified his farmer's growth skill into rebirth. He never expected that upon opening his eyes again, he would actually return to the exact day he awakened his abilities. After regaining his composure, he silently reviews the situation in his mind. Jiang Yan suddenly opens his eyes inside a crowded bus full of high school students. Looking around, he quickly realizes something unbelievable. He has somehow returned to the past, which becomes obvious as he recognizes the familiar faces around him and where they are going. Today is the exact day he and his classmates are traveling to the Nanrong Demon Cave Station to awaken their special classes after graduating high school. This moment takes place 2.5 years before their city is completely destroyed, giving him a rare chance to change the future. 12 years ago, mysterious demon caves suddenly appeared all over the world, including the Nanrong Demon Cave. Countless monsters poured out of these gates and began slaughtering humans on a massive scale. Humanity tried to fight back by entering the caves, but they quickly realized that modern weapons were completely useless inside because mana interfered with them. Eventually, people discovered that anyone turning 18 could awaken special abilities near a demon cave. These awakened individuals became humanity's strongest warriors, fighting brutal battles to contain the demons and even push back into their world. This discovery completely changed society, and now every 18-year-old high school graduate must visit a demon cave to awaken their own class. These classes are split into combat, support, and craft categories. Combat classes are the strongest and get the most respect. Support classes come next, while craft classes are at the very bottom and constantly looked down upon. In his past life, Jiang Yan awakened an F-rank craft class, which made him look completely ordinary and worthless to everyone else. But his class had a hidden trump card because he also awakened a divine tier skill called Modify. This powerful ability let him change a single letter in the name of any skill or item, completely altering its effects to make trash into treasure. Once powerful people discovered his talent, they quickly took control of his life and forced him to use it for their own gain. Jiang Yan turned countless useless items and weak skills into valuable treasures, but the more these rulers relied on him, the more they feared his dangerous power to alter reality. They locked away his freedom, limited his growth, and kept him under constant watch, treating him like a tool for powerful figures rather than a human being. Everything fell apart when a level 96 dragon monster suddenly came out of the Nanrong Demon Cave. By then, Jiang Yan had reached level 70 and become a powerful expert, making him suspect that someone unleashed the monster to eliminate him since they could no longer control him. Right before his death, our boy made one last desperate move by using Modify on his resurrection skill and changing it into Rebirth. This single change allowed him to return to the past, and now that he has a second chance, he has no intention of repeating his old mistakes. This time around, he will trust nobody but himself. He plans to hide his true powers, quietly grow stronger, protect his loved ones, and stop the city's destruction before it can even start. The bus soon arrives at the Nanrong City Hunter Association headquarters, where the massive Awakening Plaza is located. The air is filled with excitement and worry as some students dream of awakening powerful combat classes while others pray they do not end up with a useless class that ruins their lives. Most eyes are on Jiang Yan since he is the school's top student in both grades and combat. He was born with a massive amount of mana, making everyone believe a genius like him is guaranteed to awaken an elite combat class. However, the second-ranked student, Yang Hongwei, has always lived in our boy's shadow and absolutely hates him for it. Deep down, he is hoping to see Jiang Yan fail miserably today. The teacher calls our boy forward to be the first student to awaken, hoping his high score will set a great example for the rest of the class. The supervisor instructs him to place both of his hands on the awakening crystal to start the process. While the other students are nervous, Zhang Yan remains completely calm because he already knows exactly what is about to happen. The teachers and students watch closely as the crystal begins to glow, most of them hoping for a strong combat class, while Hong Wei wishes for a disaster. A bright light shoots out of the crystal and a class status panel finally appears. Just as Zhang Yan expected, the screen displays Repairman, an F-rank craft class. The room immediately falls into chaos, and the teacher grabs his head in disbelief, unable to understand how their greatest genius got such a weak class. Seeing this, Hong Wei and his friends start laughing, finding the entire situation absolutely hilarious. The top student who always stood above everyone else has just awakened what most people consider complete trash. A supervisor tries to comfort him, explaining that a repairman can still earn a decent living by opening a shop to fix equipment. Before anyone can move on, the crystal suddenly starts glowing and reacting again. This unexpected event grabs everyone's attention because it means our boy is awakening a second class. The teacher gets excited and explains that dual-class awakenings are incredibly rare, making everyone hope this second class will make up for the first failure. Unfortunately, fate decides to play a cruel joke on them once more. A moment later, the second class appears on the screen, and it is a farmer. It is another craft class, and just like Repairman, it is only F rank. The entire crowd freezes in silence, and even the teachers who wanted to support him do not know what to say. Hong Wei almost falls over laughing because this outcome is somehow even worse than he hoped for. Within seconds, everyone in the room labels Zhang Yan as a complete failure. Whispers of pity and disappointment fill the room as if his entire future has already been decided. However, nobody realizes that Zhang Yan is actually celebrating in secret. He does not care how bad the classes look because the real treasure lies within their innate skills. The Repairman class gives him Modify, his broken divine tier skill that lets him change a single letter in the name of any skill or item, and if he owns the target, the success rate is always perfect. His Farmer class grants him Growth, which speeds up plants and lets him revive and fully heal any target, including himself, though it does not restore his spent mana. While everyone else sees two worthless F-rank classes, Zhang Yan sees endless potential, knowing these abilities can become his greatest weapons if used correctly. Looking at the updated school rankings, he quietly makes a promise to himself. This time, he will take the first place on every list and claim every single resource available. He will become strong enough that nobody can ever control him again, and though they laugh at his F-rank classes today, he will soon show them why they should be terrified. After the awakening ceremony, Zhang Yan heads to the beginner training base, a special facility built to help rookies level up safely. Filled with weak, human-managed demon cave creatures, it is the perfect spot for beginners to farm experience. More importantly, breaking the clear time record earns bonus points for the upcoming provincial rookie tournament, boosting chances for a top university. While most students just want a few levels, Zhang Yan aims to crush the record and secure his spot in the best university from day one. At the entrance, the knight checks his profile and notices Zhang Yan is a rare dual-class awakener. However, his excitement fades upon seeing both classes are only F rank. Concerned, the knight asks if Zhang Yan really plans to go in alone, warning him that the first stage dungeon is harder than it looks. He suggests teaming up with classmates instead, but Zhang Yan calmly refuses and simply asks for the beginner equipment. The knight assumes Zhang Yan is just struggling to accept his fall from top genius to someone with two F-rank classes. Trying to help, he gives Zhang Yan an iron sword and leather boots that add 3 points of speed. Our boy appreciates the knight's kindness, even though it comes with a bit of pity. As Zhang Yan walks inside, the knight jokingly tells him to call for help if the charging rabbits overwhelm him. Zhang Yan thanks him and continues forward. Once out of sight, he secretly uses his Modify skill to increase the sword's piercing power and boost the boot's movement speed. He could have turned them into holy or demonic weapons, but the area is covered in cameras. Since exposing his powers ruined his past life, Zhang Yan won't make the same mistake twice. The base is split into basic, advanced, and boss areas. Most rookies stay in the basic area, while stronger ones go to the advanced zone. To break the record, one must defeat the boss-ranked charging rabbit at the end. Though only level 1, these aggressive rabbits use the crystal shells on their heads as battering rams. Zhang Yan wants to reach level 5 right away, which means he must kill at least 100 rabbits. Only then can he unlock the Cyclone Wolf base. A nightmare for beginners, but a perfect leveling spot for him. When the rabbits attack, Zhang Yan charges without hesitation. He easily cuts them down, gaining tons of experience points. Things go so well that he thinks about hitting level 10 in one run. Reaching level 10 would unlock a new skill to help him create powerful monsters later. For Zhang Yan, this base is his first step to becoming so strong that no one can control him again. While hunting, Zhang Yan remembers that Hong Wei is awakening his class right now. Knowing Hong Wei, the guy will definitely come looking for him. Meanwhile at the plaza, Hong Wei steps onto the platform praying for a class stronger than Zhang Yan's. Luckily, the crystal erupts with energy, granting him an F-rank combat class called Berserker. Hongwei is thrilled. After years in our boy's shadow, he finally believes he has beaten him. His followers quickly hype him up, declaring that the former number 2 is now number 1. Since our boy is missing, they assume he ran away to hide after hearing the news. When a lackey mentions Zhang Yan went to the training base, Hongwei decides to follow. They pretend they want to help a struggling classmate, but their real plan is to mock him. The teacher sees right through the excuse and sighs, knowing exactly how hard Zhang Yan has worked. He had watched Zhang Yan study late, train to exhaustion, and silently endure maximum pain in the mana room. The teacher just cannot understand how such a determined student ended up with 2 useless F-rank classes. However, not everyone has given up on Zhang Yan. Wang Qingfeng, a purple-haired student ranked just behind him, respects Zhang Yan as a rival and believes his story isn't over. Ever since the first-year finals, Qingfeng has admired his unstoppable mindset. So, hearing that Hongwei is going to the training base, he decides to follow along. He doesn't want to mock Zhang Yan. Instead, he is ready to fight Hongwei if he tries anything stupid against his rival. Back in the base, our boy has already killed over 100 rabbits. The experience is great, but his weak rookie body is paying the price. Still, Zhang Yan isn't worried because only the Rabbit King remains. Defeating it means he will clear the area and hit level 5. The Rabbit King is a level 5 monster that uses the elemental crystal on its head to deal heavy ramming damage. Normally, an injured level 4 rookie fighting it head-on would get destroyed, but Zhang Yan has no intention of playing fair. As the beast charges using its Flame Headbutt skill, Zhang Yan calmly activates his Modify ability. He instantly changes the skill's name from Flame Headbutt to Flame Head Burst, causing a brutal result. Instead of boosting its attack, the skill causes the monster's own crystal to explode. Before reaching him, the crystal detonates, blowing the monster apart and ending the fight instantly. Just like that, Zhang Yan clears the dungeon and reaches level 5. At the same time, the public board announces that Zhang Yan broke the Charging Rabbit Elite record in just 36 minutes. Everyone is stunned since the old record was over an hour. While students gossip, Hongwei refuses to believe someone with F-rank classes could do this, assuming Zhang Yan cheated. Convinced of this fraud, Hongwei becomes even more determined to track Zhang Yan down and expose him. Zhang Yan couldn't care less about their opinions. After healing his injuries, he sets his sights on his next challenge, the Whirlwind Wolf Base, where the Wolf King once caused him trouble in his past life. This time, he fully intends to get his payback along with the experience points. Soon, he arrives at the Whirlwind Wolf Base, which is on a completely different level compared to the rabbit area. Here, the regular wolves range from level 6 to 9, while their king sits at level 10. Since most freshmen are only between levels 1 and 5, entering this area alone is practically suicide. However, that is exactly why the rewards here are so valuable. Anyone who clears the base gets a massive amount of experience, and Zhang Yan knows that defeating the Wolf King will instantly push him to level 10. While ordinary rookies have to grind for 10 days to reach level 10, clearing this base can do it in a single run. Even better, reaching level 10 unlocks a second innate skill and lets him train alone in the wilderness. These are both critical steps for Zhang Yan to get stronger, but at the entrance he meets a rude knight who doesn't even hide his contempt. After checking our boy's profile, the guard asks if he is seriously planning to challenge the base alone, pointing out that even talented high-level freshmen only enter with a full 6-person team. He even warns Zhang Yan about a past A-rank genius who tried to go solo and got injured so badly he missed the college entrance exams. In his eyes, if that genius failed, someone with 2 F-rank classes has absolutely no chance. Zhang Yan just thanks him for the warning and keeps walking, making the knight snap that he doesn't actually care if Zhang Yan throws his life away. Without hesitating, our boy steps into the training base and charges straight toward the wolves. Watching from above, the knight expects to see a rookie get ripped apart, but he witnesses something completely different instead. Zhang Yan easily tears through the wolves like they are simple training dummies. As his sword flashes across the battlefield, monsters drop left and right without him even using his innate skills. Seeing this, the knight's confident smile slowly fades as sweat begins to form on his forehead. The very kid he just mocked is easily destroying monsters that should easily overwhelm any normal rookie. Before long, a massive pile of wolf corpses begins to build up all around Zhang Yan. By this point, even the shocked knight has to admit that Zhang Yan is an absolute monster. Remembering all the insults he threw earlier, the knight quickly decides to sneak away before Zhang Yan returns and recognizes him. At the same time, Zhang Yan sits down on top of the pile of monsters to rest and recover. Although he succeeded, the fight was not easy, and he would have died several times without his constant regeneration ability. These wolves are much more dangerous than the rabbits, and although our boy has reached level 9, it took a lot of painful, non-stop fighting. Even when his wounds healed, the pain remained. Still, Zhang Yan does not complain because he knows that changing his fate is never going to be easy. Now that the entire wolf pack is dead, only one final target remains. Standing directly between him and level 10 is the powerful Wolf King. Right on cue, the Wolf King appears in the distance. This level 10 beast has wind-infused fur, making it much faster and more dangerous than the other wolves. After checking its stats, Zhang Yan finds out that the boss has a deadly skill called Windblade Claw. Unfortunately, analyzing the skill reveals that he cannot easily use his modify ability on it, as any forced change might actually make the enemy stronger. This makes Zhang Yan pause and think. Deciding to settle this with raw strength, he suddenly pulls off his shirt, showing the muscular physique he built through years of hard training. After all, even without his skills, he is still the #1 student in both combat and academics. Without wasting another second, Zhang Yan charges straight at the Wolf King to prove why he holds that title. Meanwhile, Hongwei and his team are having a terrible time after their attempt to clear the rabbit base ended in a disaster that forced them to call for rescue. The guard in charge quickly yells at them for recklessly entering an advanced zone instead of staying in the basic area like normal rookies. This makes Hongwei furious because his entire team failed to even reach the boss, while Zhang Yan cleared the whole base and set a record. He simply refuses to believe our boy did it honestly. Believing that Zhang Yan must have cheated, Hongwei vents his anger by punching one of his own followers. To make things worse, the public notice board suddenly lights up with a new announcement. Zhang Yan has cleared the wolf base in a record time of 58 minutes, shocking the entire crowd. His followers can barely believe their eyes, and Hongwei becomes even more obsessed with bringing Zhang Yan down. He orders his lackeys to head to the wolf base under the excuse of congratulating Zhang Yan, though he actually plans to ruin his reputation. Proving he is better has become a complete obsession. Inside the base, Zhang Yan finally reaches level 10 and unlocks his second innate skill. His repairman class gives him the durability skill, while his farmer class grants him plant grafting. Seeing plant grafting instantly puts a smile on his face, as this is the exact skill he was waiting for. He quickly uses his modify power to change plant grafting into universal grafting, gaining another incredibly overpowered ability. This new skill allows him to combine the genes of 2 different species to create an entirely new life form, which can be either weaker or stronger than its parents. Currently, he only has a 10% chance of creating a stronger species, but this rate will increase as the skill levels up, eventually letting him graft even more species together. Despite its current limits, Zhang Yan knows how powerful this skill is, since combining 2 A-rank monsters could easily result in a legendary S-rank beast. He could then use a Beast Tamer scroll to form a contract, turning that creature into a completely loyal battle companion. Zhang Yan remembers how powerful people in his past life used similar abilities for themselves, but this time, everything he creates will belong to him alone. After sorting out his new abilities, Zhang Yan finally prepares to leave. Looking back at his accomplishments for the day, even he is impressed. He broke records, reached level 10, and got a rare magic crystal. These crystals have a very low drop rate and give strong effects when put into gear. Sadly, anything dropped inside the training grounds belongs to the Hunter Association. Still, Zhang Yan isn't disappointed because reaching level 10 means he can finally enter the wild areas of the Demon Cave. Out there, every material he finds will belong entirely to him. For someone who spent his past life being controlled by others, the thought of finally becoming financially independent feels amazing. However, reality quickly reminds him that he still has problems to deal with. The claw wound on his chest suddenly flares up with intense pain. Because the injury isn't fatal, his health regeneration won't activate. To make matters worse, he doesn't have the money for hospital treatment. After some thought, Zhang Yan comes up with a crazy but practical solution. The easiest way to heal completely would be to kill himself and trigger his revive ability. The only problem is that doing this in front of the guards would look highly suspicious. So, he decides to find a quiet spot where nobody can see him before trying this insane healing plan. With that in mind, Zhang Yan puts his shirt back on and walks toward the exit. However, he freezes the moment he steps outside. Instead of a quiet path, a massive crowd is waiting for him. Students have gathered everywhere after hearing about his broken records. Even older students have shown up just to see the guy who beat the training base scores. The peaceful escape Zhang Yan wanted is clearly ruined. Seeing the huge crowd, Zhang Yan realizes he has a serious problem. There are simply too many eyes on him right now. In this situation, using his revive is impossible. If he hurts himself and suddenly heals in front of everyone, people will definitely notice his strange powers. His main focus right now is finding a way to lose the crowd without exposing his secret. Just as he thinks about this, a sudden warmth spreads through his body. The painful injuries from moments ago start healing on their own. Looking up in surprise, he finds the source. An S-rank support user known as the Holy Angel is actually healing him. The crowd instantly bursts into excitement. When they turn to look, they realize the spell came from a girl named Yao Kachin, a member of a great clan. The students are completely shocked since nobody expected someone from such a powerful family to show up here. Our boy is equally shocked, but for a very different reason. From his point of view, Kexin just saved him from having to kill himself for a quick heal. He walks over to her and sincerely thanks her for taking care of his injuries. In return, he promises to personally repair her equipment if it ever breaks. Deep down, Jiang Yan is also thinking ahead, knowing an S-rank healer is the perfect ally for dangerous missions. Kexin accepts his thanks and casually mentions she will look forward to that day. Unfortunately, the peace doesn't last long. Right as they finish talking, Hongwei barges in and starts shouting at the top of his lungs. According to him, everyone is being fooled by a total fraud. He loudly accuses Jiang Yan of cheating on his speedrun records. When he reveals that Jiang Yan awakened 2 F-rank craft classes, the crowd is caught off guard, as everyone knows craft classes have almost no combat ability. Hongwei keeps pushing his point, claiming that beating the record solo is completely impossible for someone like Jiang Yan. He then spins an even crazier story, arguing that Jiang Yan must have used some overpowered equipment. However, that theory creates a plot hole since everyone knows our boy comes from a poor family. To fix this, Hongwei claims that if Jiang Yan had expensive gear, he must have been faking his poverty to scam the school for financial aid. Hearing this, the crowd's attitude starts shifting. Some people begin to doubt Jiang Yan's achievements, while others wonder if Hongwei might actually be right. Seeing the situation get worse, Jiang Yan calmly asks Hongwei if he wants proof that he didn't cheat. Hongwei immediately agrees and demands a fight. His rule is simple. Jiang Yan must take off his gear and fight him directly. If he wins, everyone will know the records were real. Kexin steps in and warns Jiang Yan not to fall for such an obvious trap, feeling he doesn't owe anyone an explanation. But our boy simply thanks her for the concern and accepts the challenge anyway. Hongwei has been annoying him for far too long, and Jiang Yan wants to deal with him now to stop future problems. Seeing his challenge accepted, Hongwei gets very confident. He unleashes his berserker aura and acts like he has already won, promising to knock all of our boy's teeth out. Moments later, he activates the Berserker skill. This move drains a bit of his health every minute while boosting his strength, speed, and defense by 30%. Watching this, Jiang Yan can't help but find the whole thing amusing. He teases Hongwei, saying he talks a lot for a guy who is about to embarrass himself and wonders if he can keep that confidence up for a full minute. Deep down, Jiang Yan thinks it is ridiculous that Hongwei believes having an A-rank class means an easy win. Taking a fighting stance, Jiang Yan prepares to teach him a much-needed lesson. True strength doesn't just come from a class rank, but from the person using it. Our boy is glad he restored his modified gear to normal before leaving the training grounds, ensuring no one can inspect his equipment and find anything suspicious. To make things even more obvious, Jiang Yan takes off his leather boots and stands there without any equipment at all. Seeing this, Hongwei gets excited, sure that the advantage is now entirely his, and immediately rushes forward to throw a punch straight at Jiang Yan's head. To his shock, Jiang Yan easily dodges it, forcing Hongwei to throw another attack and then another, desperately swinging his fist to land a single hit. However, every single strike looks painfully slow in Jiang Yan's eyes. He easily slips past each blow as if he is watching them in slow motion. While dodging, Jiang Yan admits that the A-rank Berserker class is indeed impressive, but he notes that an attack only matters if it hits, and swinging wildly like this is just a waste of stamina. Then, Jiang Yan reminds Hongwei that they spent 3 years together, meaning Jiang Yan knows exactly how he fights, while Hongwei never understood our boy's style. Before Hongwei can react, Jiang Yan counters, slamming his fist into Hongwei's side and sending a wave of pain through the berserker's body. Hongwei falls to the ground in pain, while our boy stands over him and reminds everyone that he is still the top student. The crowd is left speechless, unable to understand how a student with 2 F-rank craft classes easily beat an A-rank berserker. Meanwhile, Jiang Yan sees no reason to stay now that Hongwei is dealt with since he has more important things to do. His next stop is the wilderness outside, but he needs proper gear before he can head out there. Fortunately, with his modified skill, getting good gear will not be a problem in the long run. The real issue right now is money, as he must buy his own starting gear after returning all of the association's equipment. But when he checks his wallet, reality hits him hard, showing that despite his talent and big plans, he is still completely broke. As he broods over his financial issues, Jiang Yan suddenly senses an attack coming from behind him. His body reacts instantly, easily blocking the punch before it can land. When he turns around, he sees the attacker and realizes there is no real danger. It is Wang Qingfeng, his longtime rival, who grins and praises him for the quick block, saying it is expected from the school's top student. Soon, they grab a drink together, and Qingfeng admits he watched the whole fight, adding that he would have beaten up Hongwei himself if Jiang Yan had lost. Since Qingfeng only considers Jiang Yan a true rival, Jiang Yan decides to bring up an issue that has bothered him for years. Back during their first-year finals, Qingfeng had suddenly surrendered. After that, he kept giving up every time they were supposed to face each other. Our boy explains that he knows Qingfeng did this to let him win the top scholarship, since Qingfeng is rich while Jiang Yan really needs the money. Qingfeng tries to deny it, joking that he only surrendered because Jiang Yan's eyes looked too scary back then. Jiang Yan does not believe the excuse and asks if Qingfeng plans to surrender again if they meet in this year's national tournament. This time, Qingfeng answers without any hesitation. He promises to fight with everything he has if they meet, with no holding back and no more free wins. Smiling, Zhang Yan raises his drink for a toast, both of them eager to settle things on equal terms without needing many words. Right after, Qingfeng tosses him a card containing 2,000 credits, explaining that he wants to buy Zhang Yan's Whirlwind Wolf speedrun strategy. Before leaving, he tells Zhang Yan to send the details over as soon as possible. Zhang Yan quickly agrees with no complaints. Once Qingfeng leaves, our boy sighs in relief, knowing this was his friend's way of helping him out and feeling like he owes him. Still, his biggest problem has been solved for now. Having some money in his pocket at last, Zhang Yan heads straight to the market stalls to see what is available. Soon he arrives at the cheapest black market in town. While most people do not expect to find anything valuable there, since everything sold is basic gear, but Zhang Yan knows from experience that hidden treasures can sometimes be found here. He browses the stalls until a certain weapon catches his eye. A merchant is displaying an E+ rank Demon Shade Saber with a Whirlwind Wolf crystal, explaining that it can unleash a special whirlwind skill. However, its durability is low, so the merchant is selling it for 18,000 credits instead of its full 25,000 value. Zhang Yan is not surprised, as expensive gear is out of his reach anyway, so he looks at an ordinary sword nearby instead. He asks for the price, and the merchant says this basic E-rank Azure Steel sword costs 1,500 credits. Hearing the name, Zhang Yan gets interested and proposes a deal. If he repairs the damaged saber, can he have the Azure Steel sword in return? The merchant is surprised and asks if Zhang Yan can really repair it. Smiling, Zhang Yan activates his new durability skill, telling him there is only one way to find out, while hiding his true intentions. After all, he only wants the ordinary sword because once he gets his hands on it, he can modify it into a legendary blade. The seller looks at Zhang Yan doubtfully, asking if he really has a durability class. Restoring a weapon is very hard, and one mistake could easily ruin it completely. Zhang Yan calmly replies that he is an F-rank repairman. This only makes the seller more skeptical. He then reveals that he also has a craft class as a D-rank blacksmith. Working with weapons daily, he knows how tricky restoration is. Even with his higher rank, he cannot promise to fix the Demon Shade Saber. Because Zhang Yan is just a student, the seller offers a quick warning before letting him try. He explains that when a weapon's durability hits 0, it is basically destroyed. Fixing it is not just about patching cracks. You must feel the weapon's inner structure, follow its magic flow, and rebuild it from the inside out. If you fail, the durability will drop even more instead of improving. The seller then lays out the stakes. If Zhang Yan messes up, he will owe 18,000 credits. This harsh warning would usually make anyone back out. Nearby, Kexin is also exploring the market and quietly watches them. She knows the seller is not exaggerating, as even the experienced B-rank experts in her family's guild struggle to restore damaged weapons. To most people, Zhang Yan's attempt seems completely reckless, but he could not be more relaxed. In his past life, he spent years fixing gear for the world's strongest fighters. They often brought him A-rank and S-rank treasures. Compared to that, repairing an E+ rank saber feels like a simple chore. His confidence comes from his past hard work. While most F-rank repairmen quickly give up, Zhang Yan always pushed himself. From the day he awakened, he trained his durability skill harder than anyone else just to surpass his peers. After his rebirth, that vast experience returned with him, turning a weak skill into his greatest tool, so he easily begins working on the Demon Shade Saber. The onlookers soon realize something special is happening, as his movements are smooth, precise, and full of confidence. Even Kexin looks at him in a new light. Earlier, she doubted his promise to repair her gear, but seeing him now proves he was completely serious. Before long, Zhang Yan finishes the repair and hands the saber back. The seller inspects the weapon, and his eyes widen in shock. The damage is completely gone, and the amazing workmanship goes far beyond his expectations. Admitting he completely misjudged him, the seller praises Zhang Yan's skills. Honoring their deal, he hands over the Azure Steel sword. Our boy accepts it calmly, but inside he is thrilled. The Demon Shade Saber was never his true goal. From the start, he only wanted this normal-looking Azure Steel sword. Once he holds it, Zhang Yan uses his Modify skill. With one quick change, he renames it from Azure Steel Sword to Qinggang Sword, an ancient legendary blade. Legend says this weapon once belonged to a war god who easily crushed enemy armies. Just like that, a basic E-rank weapon transforms into something incredibly valuable. Because of this, Zhang Yan does not need to spend the 2,000 credits he just earned. With expensive university fees coming up, he must save every penny. On top of that, Zhang Yan keeps thinking about his younger sister, who has had a hard time since their father died. He knows she will become someone great, but right now she is just a lonely shut-in. Before leaving for university, he wants to earn enough money so she can live comfortably. This thought drives him to get stronger and richer quickly. As he gets ready to leave, a familiar voice calls out, Turning around, Zhang Yan sees Kexin. She gets straight to the point and asks to hire him, casually offering 50,000 credits for a single job. Interested, Zhang Yan asks what she needs. Kexin explains she is level 3 and wants him to carry her to level 10. Hearing this, Zhang Yan quickly agrees. Kexin smiles, while Zhang Yan is secretly amazed that more money has practically fallen into his lap. A moment later, Kexin rushes to the seller and announces she wants to buy the Demon Shade Saber. Because the weapon is fully restored, the seller proudly states the price is 25,000 credits. Without pausing, Kexin pulls the money from her storage ring. The seller is mind blown, knowing anyone carrying that much cash must come from a very wealthy family. He quickly finishes the sale and hands over the weapon. Meanwhile, our boy is already thinking about how useful Kexin's support skills will be for his plans. Just then, Kexin walks back and does something completely unexpected. She offers him the Demon Shade Saber as a gift to celebrate their meeting. Before Zhang Yan can refuse, she firmly tells him to keep it. Zhang Yan is truly stunned. He never imagined she would spend so much on a weapon just to give it away right after. At that moment, he realizes Kexin is not just rich, but also very generous and kind. He gratefully accepts the blade and thanks her. Meanwhile, Kexin simply feels that Zhang Yan is bound for greatness, seeing this gift as a smart future investment. With their deal settled, Zhang Yan suggests they stop wasting time and head straight to the rookie training grounds. Soon after, the duo arrives at the Charging Beast training grounds. Using his new weapons, Zhang Yan slices through monsters like paper while Kexin provides healing from behind. This team-up is highly effective. Kexin levels up fast, and they even set a new clear time record for the area. Afterward, they visit the Whirlwind Wolf base and easily break that record too. The news spreads fast, leaving everyone completely shocked. Their shock only grows when they learn that our boy's partner is Yao Kexin. After all, her father leads the Dolly Merchant Guild, one of the nation's top 10 trading houses. When Kexin reaches level 9, she starts feeling exhausted and suggests a break. However, Zhang Yan tells her to rest while walking, noting her stats are high enough to continue. Instead of getting upset, Kexin feels motivated, wanting to push herself as hard as our boy does. Having an S-rank support class, she refuses to waste her talent. Meanwhile, Zhang Yan has already reached level 13. Moving forward, he announces their next stop, the Netherflame Boar Base, the only rookie zone with an S-level danger rating. At the entrance, the guard knight recognizes Zhang Yan from his broken records. He warns them that this dungeon is entirely different. The Netherflame Boar King is much deadlier than the previous bosses, and most rookies would never dare to enter. However, Zhang Yan remains calm and simply replies that big risks bring big rewards. He believes those who avoid danger will never reach the top. In truth, Zhang Yan is not worried at all because he has Kexin by his side. Having an S-rank support completely changes the game. Seeing Zhang Yan's confidence, the knight slowly steps aside, allowing them in and wishing them luck. Zhang Yan accepts the warning, knowing they will definitely need some luck. Walking deeper into the dungeon, Kexin feels confused since there are no monsters around. Zhang Yan explains that this place is special. There are no normal monsters here. The entire dungeon only holds one enemy, the boss itself. Hearing this, Kexin nearly panics. Before she can ask anything else, a giant figure appears in the distance, and the terrifying sight almost makes her faint. Zhang Yan's eyes simply light up in excitement. He quickly draws both his swords because, for the first time today, he finally faces a real challenge. The monster standing before them is the level 15 Spectral Wild Boar King. It is a terrifying magical beast from the demon caves with a violent temper and a skill called Ghost Flame Charge. Ghostly flames flow from its body, creating temperatures of nearly 200 degrees Celsius. As the monster gets closer, Zhang Yan tells Kexin to keep Holy Light active on him to maintain his health during the fight. She quickly uses her angel skills, so Zhang Yan charges forward with her support. His plan is simple. Against such a dangerous monster, striking first is the best option. Leaping into the air, Zhang Yan uses gravity and a spinning motion to deliver a strong slash to the boar's neck. It looks like a great opening move. However, the Boar King is much smarter than the previous bosses. At the last second, it jumps and blocks the attack with its tusks. This failed attack proves something important to Zhang Yan. This boss can actually think. Knowing the same trick won't work twice, he drops that strategy. Instead, he uses his time in the air to secretly activate his Modify skill. He makes sure to do this where Kexin can't easily see him. With Modify, Zhang Yan changes his basic steel sword into an upgraded steel sword. Usually a steel sword is nothing special, but this modified version is entirely different. The transformation isn't perfect since his level only lets him create a level 10 replica of the legendary Cyan steel sword instead of the real thing. Even so, the copy is incredibly strong. It can slice through iron like dirt and easily tear through heavy armor. Zhang Yan isn't disappointed because he never expected to create divine weapons out of thin air just yet. For this fight, the replica is more than enough. With his newly enhanced weapon, our boy immediately attacks again. A single slash easily cuts right through one of the Boar King's tusks. The monster instantly goes into a blind rage. Meanwhile, Zhang Yan quickly turns his weapon back to normal before Kexin can notice anything strange. But Kexin already saw enough to be shocked. She can't believe an ordinary E-rank weapon just sliced through the hardest part of the monster's body in one hit. After thinking about it, she comes to the completely wrong conclusion. Instead of suspecting the weapon, she assumes this happened because of Zhang Yan's amazing physical strength. In her mind, someone who broke so many records with F-rank classes must just be stronger than most A-rank fighters. While Kexin makes up silly excuses in her head, Zhang Yan notices her weird expression and quickly guesses what she is thinking. Before her imagination goes too far, he snaps her back to reality and reminds her to keep using Holy Light. He warns her that if she doesn't help enough, she might not get any experience points when the boss dies. Glad for the reminder, Kexin quickly goes back to supporting him. Meanwhile, Zhang Yan gets ready for the final part of the fight. He thinks about modifying his sword's name for a final blow, but decides against it. Choosing the wrong word could easily backfire and ruin everything. Suddenly, the Boar King uses its nether flame charge. It rushes toward him like a massive flaming blue missile. This attack pulls our boy's focus back to the battle. After a quick thought, he comes up with a much better plan. He suddenly tells Kexin to close her eyes. Confused, she asks him why. Zhang Yan simply tells her to trust him, warning that she probably can't handle what is about to happen. Thinking something bloody is about to happen, Kexin quietly shuts her eyes without asking any more questions. As the huge boar charges, our boy uses Modify again. With a quick change, Netherflame Charge becomes Netherflame Drift. The result is immediate and completely funny. Instead of rushing forward at deadly speed, the Boar King slowly floats through the air like it forgot how to walk. Even the monster looks confused by what just happened. Zhang Yan enjoys the silly moment for a second before finishing the fight. He dashes forward, modifies his sword into the legendary Qinggang sword midair, and lands a deadly slash right across the beast's neck. The strike ends the battle instantly. A system message pops up, confirming the Boar King's death and giving Zhang Yan a huge amount of experience points. By beating the strongest rookie boss, Zhang Yan jumps from level 13 straight to 15. Even he is surprised to gain 2 levels so fast. Meanwhile, Kexin is still standing with her eyes tightly closed. When the reward messages appear, she sees she has jumped to level 12, gaining 3 whole levels at once. This crazy boost leaves her stunned, wondering if Zhang Yan really killed the monster alone. After hiding his weapon's true form, Zhang Yan walks over. He only told Kexin to close her eyes to hide his skills, but he is genuinely impressed she listened so easily. The more he thinks about it, the more he realizes she is the perfect teammate. She listens well, is very rich, has an S-rank healing class, and doesn't ask annoying questions. So, our boy is already thinking about bringing her along for future team dungeons. A few minutes later, he tells Kexin she can finally open her eyes. When she does, she sees the giant dead body of the Boar King on the ground and freezes in shock. She really can't understand how Zhang Yan managed to beat such a scary monster all by himself. As Zhang Yan gets ready to leave, Kexin quietly watches him with total admiration. To her, he is not just talented, but also very reliable and trustworthy. Before he can walk away, Kexin stops him to hand over his payment. Then she surprises him with an extra bonus gift. Zhang Yan's eyes widen the moment he sees it. It is a magic storage ring. These rings are very rare because they use special spatial magic crystals. They ignore normal physical limits and can store huge amounts of gear. Even the smallest rings sell for hundreds of thousands of credits. Knowing how expensive this is, Zhang Yan tries to refuse it, but Kexin insists he takes it. She points out that Zhang Yan helped her gain 2 extra levels outside their deal, making the gift well earned. More importantly, she believes someone with his talent will use it much better than she could. After a bit of thought, Zhang Yan realizes she is right. He plans to explore the deeper areas of the demon cave soon, and a storage ring will be perfect for carrying extra loot. So in the end, he happily accepts the gift. In return, he promises that if Kexin ever needs his help, he will do whatever he can for her, as long as it doesn't break his personal rules. Satisfied with their arrangement, the two finish their business and leave. Meanwhile, outside the training grounds, discussions about the freshman rankings are spreading. People are surprised to see how incredibly small the gap between top contenders is. This year's batch of rookies is simply stacked with talent. Nanrong City produced an unusual number of A-rank and S-rank combat classes, making it one of the strongest generations in years. Nanrong 7th High draws the most attention, with rumors claiming 3 S-rank classes awakened there in a single year, proving just how fierce the competition will be. Soon after, Jiang Yan and Kexin arrive to check the rankings. Although Jiang Yan is currently number 1, he isn't celebrating yet. He knows several monsters are right behind him and will probably catch up soon. The first is Li Yufeng, Nanrong 3rd High's top student in both academics and combat. He awakened an S-rank Sword Saint class and is considered nearly unbeatable in close-range fights. The second is Zhang Hong, Nanrong Ninth High's top martial artist, who awakened the A-rank Blazing Fistmaster class with terrifying offensive power. The third is Lu Yuan, an S-rank Gale assassin specializing in high-speed movement, elemental abilities, and deadly ambushes. Looking at these names, Jiang Yan remembers his previous life. Every single one of them became a famous genius with a brilliant career known by everyone. This time, however, Jiang Yan refuses to stand behind them. His goal is to surpass everyone and claim the true #1 spot among Nanrong City's freshmen. He knows these people will eventually become his rivals, but instead of feeling intimidated, he looks forward to facing them. The stronger the competition, the more satisfying his victory will be. But for now, the rankings can wait. Right now, the only person occupying Jiang Yan's thoughts is his younger sister. In his previous life, powerful people took him away shortly after he awakened his abilities, treating him like a tool. Because of that, he never returned home. They never saw each other again, so everything he learned about her came through second-hand information. He only knows she eventually awakened an A-rank class and became someone extraordinary. Thinking about their lost years fills him with regret, so this time Jiang Yan is determined to protect her and make up for everything. Kexen reminds him to include her in future dungeon runs before they say goodbye. The moment Jiang Yan finally arrives home, a flood of memories hits him. This is the home he once took for granted. After being taken away in his past life, he never stepped inside it again. Upon entering, his younger sister Jiang Yao greets him. She invites him to eat, and Jiang Yan quietly observes her. Right now, she's only 15 and still in the 9th grade. Ever since their parents died in a demon cave 3 years ago, she has become painfully shy and withdrawn. Before that tragedy, she was cheerful, energetic, and full of life. Losing their parents changed everything. While they eat, Yao suddenly drops a bombshell, calmly announcing that she plans to quit school. This statement immediately catches our boy off guard. He knows how talented she is, ranking at the top of her grade in academics and combat. With high school exams approaching, dropping out makes no sense since she has a bright future ahead. Unable to understand, Jiang Yan asks why she would consider this. Yao explains she doesn't think she can achieve great things like him, especially after seeing him among the top students on the city rankings. In her eyes, Jiang Yan works harder than anyone and is destined for greatness. She even believes he will eventually protect the world. However, she doesn't view herself the same way. Despite her incredible grades and talent, her confidence has been completely shattered over the years. She quietly mentions she'd rather start working to help cover their living expenses. Jiang Yan listens, but he doesn't buy her explanation for a second because the excuse sounds too convenient. He knows his sister well enough to realize there is a hidden reason behind this sudden decision. Just as he is about to press her further, a familiar visitor walks through the door. The newcomer is Uncle Guan. Noticing the tense atmosphere in the room, he hesitates awkwardly before entering. Soon after, he apologizes for bothering them and starts talking about his struggling business. It turns out Guan owns a microloan company, and over the past 2 years, Jiang Yan and Yao have repeatedly borrowed money from him to survive. Looking at Yao's expression, Jiang Yan immediately pieces everything together. Guan must have visited earlier to remind her about their debt. Knowing how expensive college will be and seeing our boy's high ranking, she decided to sacrifice her own future to reduce his burden. Rather than letting her brother struggle with tuition, she was ready to abandon her education entirely. Realizing this, Jiang Yan immediately asks Uncle Guan to calculate exactly how much they owe. After doing the math, Guan says the total is around 43,000 credits before interest. He clearly feels uncomfortable asking for repayment since he knows their struggles, but his own company is also facing problems. Without a word, our boy pulls out the 50,000 credits he received from Kexen and hands it over, telling Guan to keep the extra as interest. The room instantly falls silent. Guan stares at the money in disbelief, while Yao is shocked, wondering where her brother got so much cash. Jiang Yan wants to explain and reassure her that she no longer needs to worry, but he prefers not to have this conversation in front of a guest. Fortunately, Guan quickly picks up on the situation and understands the siblings need privacy. He excuses himself, telling them to call if they ever need help before quietly leaving the house. As soon as Guan leaves, Yao immediately asks Jiang Yan where he got 50,000 credits. Given how suddenly the money appeared, she worries he might be involved in something shady. Jiang Yan simply smiles at her concern. He gently pats her head and reassures her that the money is completely clean, with no scams, illegal deals, or hidden problems. He tells her to stop worrying because everything is under control. Then, Jiang Yan confidently shares his plans, boldly declaring he will become the #1 student in Nanrong City. Not stopping there, he also announces his goal to place first in the college entrance exams and claim the massive 300,000 credit prize. To most people, this would sound arrogant, but Yao knows her brother better than anyone. Whenever Jiang Yan sets a goal, it's not a dream, but a promise. After that, Jiang Yan finally addresses the real issue, telling Yao never to throw away her future for him. Hearing this, she realizes he saw right through her excuse. He already knew the real reason she wanted to quit school wasn't a lack of confidence, but money. Knowing college would be expensive, she decided to sacrifice her own future rather than become another burden to her successful brother. Wanting to completely erase her worries, Jung-yeon hands her a bank card. He tells her to stop stressing over money because he has plenty of ways to earn it, and he just hasn't started using them yet. Instead, he gives her a challenge to focus on studying and training as hard as possible. Our boy explains that once he reaches the top, everyone's attention will naturally shift to her as the strongest student sister. This won't make life easier. It will actually make things harder since the expectations placed on her will become enormous. Jung-yeon jokingly warns her that once everyone calls her the top dog's sister, she'll have no choice but to become the strongest student in her grade. Hearing this completely breaks Yao's emotional defenses. Trembling and with tears filling her eyes, she throws herself into her brother's arms. Through her sobs, she promises to work hard and never embarrass the family. Seeing her finally release all the pressure she had been carrying brings Jung-yeon relief. Unlike his previous life where he never got the chance to protect her, this time he can actually be there for his sister. After comforting Yao, Jung-yeon quietly plans his next move. He solved their immediate money problem, but to change his fate and become the strongest, he must grow much faster. This means earning money and gaining levels simultaneously. With this goal, he thinks of a place inside the demon cave beyond the human-controlled regions. Unlike beginner grounds, these areas are incredibly dangerous, but the rewards are on a completely different level. The place Jung-yeon targets is Poison Dragon Valley. Packed with monsters, it is perfect for rapid solo leveling, though most avoid it because a single mistake can be fatal. For Jung-yeon, however, the valley isn't a death trap, it's a gold mine of opportunities. The dense monster population offers endless experience points, valuable materials, and magic crystals that sell for huge sums. Moreover, there is another reason he is drawn to this dangerous valley. Rumors say a rare dragon-type monster lives deep inside the valley, which deeply excites him. If he can somehow obtain one of its eggs, he can finally utilize his universal grafting skill properly. Using a dragon egg as a foundation, he could create an incredibly powerful monster to serve as a loyal battle companion. These possibilities make even an experienced fighter like Jung-yeon look forward to the future. By night's end, his mind is made up. Offering rapid leveling, wealth, magic crystals, and a potential dragon egg, Poison Dragon Valley has everything he needs. Determined to seize every opportunity in this second life, Jung-yeon decides he will set out the very next day to begin his first true solo adventure beyond the safe zones. The next day, Jung-yeon takes a bus to Nanrong City's Demon Cave. Along the way, he plans his next move. Since he must pass through the cave to reach Poison Dragon Valley, he expects the early morning crowd to be huge. The cave connects directly to the city through a single passage. Inside sits a massive stronghold, serving as one of humanity's main fortresses against monster invasions. In his past life, Jung-yeon spent years here controlled by powerful figures, leaving him with bitter memories. The fortress is run by two level 70 bosses who once treated him like a mere tool instead of a person. Upon entering, Jung-yeon immediately notices the massive crowd. Fully equipped awakeners are everywhere. Unlike the safe city, no one takes chances here. The moment people step inside, they prepare for battle since danger can strike at any moment. Looking around, Jung-yeon sees plenty of expensive equipment, but he isn't impressed. Compared to the storage ring Kexon gave him, this gear is ordinary. Then again, her wealth is on a level most people can't even imagine. Soon after, Jung-yeon reaches the East Gate, which is the closest exit to Poison Dragon Valley. Out of all the explored areas connected to the cave, this valley is considered one of the safer options. With monsters ranging between levels 13 and 18, it is the perfect grinding zone for someone at Jung-yeon's current level. However, when he shows his ID, the guards give him strange looks. Seeing his dual F-rank status, the captain mocks him, asking if he really plans to enter alone with trash classes. He warns Jung-yeon that the true wilderness is nothing like the rookie grounds. Jung-yeon simply thanks the man for his concern and keeps walking, confidently stating that he will definitely return alive. The captain, however, truly believes the kid is throwing his life away. Wanting to stop him, the man suddenly lunges forward to grab his shoulder. To his shock, our boy effortlessly slips past him without even slowing down. The captain freezes. He can't believe a weak dual F-rank awakener easily dodged a level 30 professional. For a few seconds, he just stares blankly in the direction Jung-yeon left. Shortly after, another guard explains that he shouldn't underestimate the boy. He reveals Jung-yeon is the famous freshman who shattered multiple rookie records all by himself. On top of that, he is the top academic and combat student at Nanrong First High, making him a strong contender for the college entrance exam champion. Hearing this leaves the captain speechless, feeling like he just heard a fairy tale. Even top awakeners from previous years never pulled off such ridiculous achievements. Meanwhile, Jung-yeon finally enters Poison Dragon Valley. The area is full of opportunities but has one major flaw. Toxic gas covers most of it, making antidote pills essential for survival. He pulls a pill from his ring and swallows it. Since they only last 3 hours and he is currently broke, Zhang Yan needs to make every second count. Almost immediately, 3 level 13 poison wing lizards charge at him. Zhang Yan doesn't flinch, treating them as mere warm-up targets. He quickly cuts them down with his azure steel blade, gaining experience from every kill. Seeing his progress jump after just 3 monsters puts him in a great mood. With his confidence high, Zhang Yan pushes deeper into the valley. Before long, he runs into a larger group of monsters and decides to speed things up. Activating Modify, he transforms his weapon into the Qinggang sword and charges straight into battle. Poison-winged bats drop one after another as Zhang Yan effortlessly cuts through them. He welcomes the endless swarm, and the non-stop slaughter rewards him with enough experience to level up again. Next, he moves on to a patch of carnivorous fiend grass, wiping them out just as fast to push his level even higher. Still not satisfied, he hunts large groups of miasma toads. Like the rest, they barely slow him down. By the time he clears the area, Zhang Yan has reached level 18. After hours of fighting, he takes a break to let his regeneration heal him. Despite his excellent leveling speed, he still feels a bit disappointed. Despite killing so many monsters, he hasn't found a single magic crystal. Since they are vital for his income, he wonders if his luck is just terrible today. Suddenly, a voice from behind interrupts his thoughts, asking if he killed all the monsters around here. Turning around, our boy sees 2 young men approaching with the arrogance of people who own the place. He instantly recognizes Lu Yuan, an S-rank Gale assassin and the young master of the powerful Lu family. The other guy is clearly his lackey. While Zhang Yan observes them in silence, the lackey impatiently demands an answer, getting more annoyed by the second. Eventually, Zhang Yan stands up and calmly asks what they plan to do if he refuses to answer. That response sets the lackey off. He starts running his mouth, throwing Lu Yuan's name around to intimidate him. Before things escalate, Lu Yuan steps in with surprising politeness. He reveals he knows Zhang Yan's identity, praises his achievements, and invites him to join their party. However, Zhang Yan rejects the offer without hesitation and walks away. To him, there's no reason to share his hard-earned experience and loot with arrogant rich kids who aren't even paying him. Furious at being ignored, the lackey asks Lu Yuan why he stopped him from teaching Zhang Yan a lesson. Lu Yuan explains that anyone reaching this deep into the valley alone with F-rank classes is far from ordinary. Though he acknowledges our boy's talent, he won't let the disrespect go. He tells his lackey to be patient, promising they will settle things if they cross paths again. This satisfies the lackey. Still convinced Zhang Yan is just trash, he eagerly looks forward to their next meeting. Farther ahead, our boy realizes he only has 1 antidote pill left, so he decides to keep things simple. He plans to hunt a few more toads, hit level 19, and head home, but things don't go as expected. After searching for an hour, he finds absolutely nothing. The lack of basic monsters is frustrating, but the complete absence of rare creatures is even more disappointing. He had been hoping to find a rumored dragon-type monster hidden in the region, but so far he hasn't seen a single trace of it. Just as Zhang Yan thinks his luck has run out, a dark projectile suddenly shoots toward him from the shadows. Fortunately, his quick reflexes save him. He instantly raises his sword and blocks the attack just in time. After deflecting the strike, he studies the strange object and realizes it wasn't a normal projectile. Whatever launched it clearly has incredible defensive power. As he prepares for a fight, a giant creature suddenly bursts out of the trees. The ground shakes as a massive toad lands heavily in front of him, growling in pure rage. The monster is the Miasma Toad King, a level 20 boss. With dangerous skills like mutated hide and giant tongue bind, running into this beast alone would be a nightmare for anyone else. Zhang Yan, however, is thrilled. After farming all day without drops, this boss feels like a gift from heaven that could finally give him a magic crystal. Without wasting time, the Toad King attacks, whipping its massive tongue at him. Zhang Yan effortlessly dodges and quickly forms a plan to take it down. Snapping his fingers, he uses Modify to change its giant tongue bind into Giant Tongue Tangle, taking effect immediately. When the boss attacks again, its own tongue twists and wraps around its neck, nearly choking it. Taking advantage of this opening, Zhang Yan leaps into the air and swings his sword straight at the monster's head. Unfortunately, the strike lands but barely scratches the tough creature, failing to deal any real damage. Before Zhang Yan can strike again, the Toad King activates its mutated hide, making its skin nearly impenetrable. To make matters worse, since the boss is a higher level, Zhang Yan's modification wears off quickly, turning its skill back into Giant Tongue Bind. Zhang Yan clicks his tongue in annoyance, frustrated by one of the biggest weaknesses of his Modify skill. When used on higher-level enemies, the effect duration drops drastically and can sometimes even fail completely. As the deadly tongue flies at him again, Zhang Yan stays calm. He realizes he needs extreme measures to win, deciding to take a dangerous gamble. Reaching into his ring, he pulls out the mysterious demon blade. He immediately activates Modify, upgrading the weapon into something far more terrifying, the Demon Fall Sword. This powerful modification essentially summons a demon, merging a piece of its dark existence directly into the blade. When the transformation finishes, a sinister eye appears on the sword's handle and a thunderous voice demands to know who summoned it. Jiang Yan realizes he just unleashed a Demon King sword. Its attributes are completely unknown, but it holds a fragment of the 7th Demon King, Blood Spirit Sure. The system warns him that this dangerous weapon shouldn't be used recklessly. Realizing the danger, Jiang Yan knows this sword is a ticking time bomb, so his only option is to kill the Toad King quickly before things spiral out of control. Gathering his remaining strength, he powerfully swings the blade. Amazingly, a single strike cleanly slices through the Miasma Toad King, instantly killing the level 20 boss. Although the battle ends in one attack, the price is brutal. The Demon Fall sword drains nearly all of Jiang Yan's stamina, making him collapse right after his victory. While he struggles to recover, the situation suddenly gets worse. The sword's eye begins to glow as Shure's consciousness tries to take over our boy's body. Jiang Yan tries to change the weapon back, but without any stamina left, he can't activate Modify. As he lies there exhausted, the Demon King's eye locks onto him. Shure is furious that a mere human dared to borrow his power. Boasting arrogantly, Shure declares that his fraction of power could enslave the entire world. He threatens to conquer humanity and make Jiang Yan pay. However, Jiang Yan isn't some clueless rookie dealing with a Demon King for the first time. In fact, Jiang Yan was already prepared for this. Drawing on his past life's experience, he forces himself back to his feet. Before Shure can finish his villainous speech, our boy grabs the Azure Sword and smashes the eye on the Demon Fall sword, instantly severing the demon's connection to the weapon. Absolutely livid, the fading Demon King screams threats and swears revenge, promising to do horrible things to Jiang Yan in the future. Meanwhile, Jiang Yan couldn't care less. Once Shure disappears, the heavy pressure on his body vanishes, and he lets out a relieved sigh. The invasion attempt failed, but Jiang Yan is still too exhausted to use Modify and revert the weapon. For now, all he can do is rest and recover his stamina before leaving the valley. Thinking back, Jiang Yan remembers a much worse incident from his previous life. Back then, a modification accidentally summoned the 9th Demon King. The resulting chaos was so severe that a level 80 national general had to intervene personally. That disaster taught Jiang Yan a valuable lesson. A Demon King's consciousness is tied to the weapon, so destroying that connection shuts them down instantly. Thanks to this experience, today's potential catastrophe ended with just an angry demon being sent back. While resting, Jiang Yan thinks about the terrifying being he just faced. Even as a tiny fragment of its true self, the 7th Demon King was strong enough to nearly take over his body. This makes Jiang Yan wonder where beings like Shure actually come from. Are they native to the demon caves, or do they come from an even more horrifying world? The more he thinks, the less he likes the possible answers. Eventually, his stamina recovers enough to use Modify, changing the dangerous sword back to normal. With that handled, it's time to collect his rewards. Walking up to the Toad King's corpse, Jiang Yan hopes the boss dropped a magic crystal. Fortunately, luck smiles on him. He finds a level 20 boss magic crystal embedded in the corpse. His eyes light up. On the market, this crystal is worth at least 100,000 credits, making it a massive payday for someone used to being broke. After grabbing it, he keeps going. Using his storage ring, he packs away the Toad King and all the other monsters he killed today. These high-quality crafting materials can be sold for extra profit. Our boy knows better than to use normal shops, which offer terrible prices for valuable materials. Instead, he plans to sell everything on the black market, where buyers pay much more. Once everything is stored, Jiang Yan checks his status screen and notices something unexpected. Defeating the Toad King and Shure's mysterious entity gave him enough experience to level up twice, reaching level 20. This gets him thinking. If the unknown entity was Shure's consciousness, then destroying Demon King fragments actually grants free experience. For a moment, he imagines exploiting this ridiculous loophole. If smashing a summoned fragment grants levels, he could repeatedly use the trick to reach level 100 in no time. Unfortunately, the risks are insane. One mistake could destroy the city and trigger another nightmare. Realizing the consequences, Jiang Yan wisely decides this shortcut isn't worth the gamble. Moving on, he checks his level 20 rewards. His repairman class gives him an innate skill called Dismantle. It lets him break down items below level 10 to recover materials, with a 10% chance to double the loot. Jiang Yan immediately sees Dismantle as a money printing machine. His farmer class also grants pest immunity. While it sounds boring, Jiang Yan knows he can modify it into the divine tier damage immunity. However, damage immunity comes with strict limitations, making it unreliable for daily use. Even so, a life-saving trump card like that could mean the difference between life and death. Overall, Jiang Yan is extremely satisfied, feeling that today's trip exceeded all expectations. With everything settled, Jiang Yan heads out of Poison Dragon Valley. However, he soon spots someone waiting for him on a tree branch. It is Lu Yuan's arrogant lackey, Lu Tao. Seeing him, Jiang Yan stops walking and wonders what kind of stupid trouble is about to unfold. Lu Tao, a level 17 B-rank assassin, smugly twirls his dagger and says he's been waiting specifically for him. Wasting no time, Tao jumps down and rushes forward with insults. Confident he can easily crush a dual F-rank awakener, he activates his quick-step skill to boost his agility by 30% and lunges. In his mind, the fight is already over. Unfortunately, reality hits a bit differently. Before Tao can finish enjoying his own supposed greatness, Jiang Yan simply swings his sword once. Instantly, Tao is sent flying through the air like discarded trash. He crashes into the ground, completely battered and confused. The assassin just can't understand how our boy is so much faster than his agility-focused class. He's even more shocked to see Jiang Yan casually using an expensive storage ring, something a dual F-rank definitely shouldn't be able to afford. Jiang Yan calmly watches him, wondering why people think combat classes automatically make them superior. To him, rankings are just one piece of the puzzle. Real strength comes from training, experience, stats, instincts, and level differences. Looking at the broken lackey, Jiang Yan concludes the guy is just weak. However, he knows Lu Yuan is probably the real deal. Right on cue, Lu Yuan emerges from the shadows and attacks. Jiang Yan notices him immediately and calmly blocks the strike. After their weapons clash, they exchange compliments about each other's blades. The brief exchange ends with both stepping back. Unlike Tao's reckless charge, this confrontation feels much more serious. Lu Yuan openly challenges Jiang Yan to a duel to see if his reputation is actually justified. Since Lu Yuan doubts his strength, Jiang Yan decides to make things more interesting. Instead of a simple spar, he proposes a wager where the loser hands over their weapon. Lu Yuan agrees without hesitation, radiating the absolute confidence of an S-rank Gale assassin. Once the bet is set, Lu Yuan explodes forward using his signature Gale stride. Harnessing the wind, he boosts his agility by a massive 80%, creating a terrifying speed that would easily blind most rookies. Jiang Yan, however, remains perfectly calm and even looks excited. Watching Lu Yuan rush in, Jiang Yan admits he's already looking forward to adding that saber to his collection. To him, this isn't a challenge. It's just another chance to take a free weapon from an overly confident opponent. Lu Yuan takes a defensive stance, locking his eyes on Jiang Yan while thoughts race through his mind. His class is meant to be the fastest. Speed is his greatest weapon and the foundation of his power. A second later, he explodes forward like lightning, charging with terrifying force. Jiang Yan quickly raises his weapon to defend, struggling to block the endless attacks raining down from all sides. Even while blocking, Jiang Yan is shocked. Lu Yuan's speed is insane. Just as expected from an S-rank class, every movement is too fast to easily follow. Nearby, Tao lies on the ground watching the battle. His face fills with excitement as he cheers loudly, urging Lu Yuan to finish the fight. Seeing Jiang Yan stuck on the defensive, Lu Yuan grows more confident. To him, the outcome is obvious since Jiang Yan is too slow to keep up. Certain of his victory, Lu Yuan makes his final move. In a sudden blur, he vanishes from Jiang Yan's sight and instantly reappears behind him to attack his blind spot. At that moment, blood splashes into the air. For a brief second, it looks like the battle is over. But then, an unbelievable scene happens. Without even turning around, Jiang Yan reaches back and catches the dagger, stopping the attack dead in its tracks. The winning strike has been completely blocked. Jiang Yan calmly looks at Lu Yuan without any panic. With a steady voice, he states that the winner has already been decided. Hearing this and seeing his attack stop so easily, Lu Yuan finally realizes his mistake. Jiang Yan never planned to compete in speed. This is the true power of the top-ranked freshman. Instead of getting mad, Lu Yuan smirks. Things are finally getting interesting. If Jiang Yan can trade injuries to win, he can also give up his advantage to survive. Without giving him a break, our boy swings his weapon with huge force. The attack tears through the air, but at the last second, Lu Yuan leaps back and dodges the blow. He lands safely far away, but the escape comes at a price. To survive, Lu Yuan has dropped his weapon without hesitation. It is a choice that shows great battle awareness. Even Jiang Yan has to praise him. His fighting experience is truly impressive. Jiang Yan casually tosses the dagger aside and asks how Lu Yuan plans to fight without a weapon. By then, Lu Yuan is standing on a nearby tree branch, looking down at Jiang Yan. He reveals that he likes that dagger so much, he keeps 3 of them in his storage ring. Hearing that, Jiang Yan remembers who Lu Yuan is. As the eldest son of the rich Lu family, a costly B-rank weapon is just loose change to him. Even so, Jiang Yan tightens his grip and gets ready. Defeating a genius like Lu Yuan will only make this victory sweeter. Lu Yuan raises his new daggers and activates his Gale Cleaving Slash. A purple aura surges around him as he grows serious. He declares Jiang Yan is the first opponent worthy of this move, an honor he originally saved for the Sword Saint. With a loud roar, Lu Yuan swings his blades. Sharp slashes tear through the air, covering a huge area as they rush toward Jiang Yan from all sides. Facing the heavy attack, Jiang Yan moves quickly to dodge the strikes. While narrowly avoiding the slashes, he analyzes the fight. This is the true power of a combat class, where every skill gives a huge boost. Another wave of blade energy surges toward him, forcing him to keep moving. Plus, Lu Yuan is an S-rank combat class, making him incredibly dangerous. Even while dodging, Zhang Yan knows his enemy is strong. However, he soon notices a flaw. While Lu Yuan's body is fast, the blade energy is slower. Also, launching huge wind attacks drains a lot of stamina. Zhang Yan's path to victory is clear. Hiding and waiting to land one perfect strike is his only chance, since showing his true skill isn't an option. Meanwhile, Lu Yuan finally notices that our boy has vanished. He stops attacking and scans the quiet battlefield. Standing in the ruins he has made, Lu Yuan calmly praises Zhang Yan for making the smart choice to hide. Then, he gathers his wind energy again and shouts that hiding is useless when there is nowhere left to hide. Right after he speaks, another huge wave of slashes explodes from his blades, destroying everything in their path. The forest suffers from the heavy attacks. Big trees are sliced apart, crashing down with loud noises. After reducing the area to ruins, Lu Yuan lands on the ground. Confident that Zhang Yan is exposed, he starts searching the wreckage. But his eyes widen at what he sees. The battlefield is completely empty, with no sign of Zhang Yan anywhere. Suddenly, Lu Yuan senses someone behind him. He quickly spins around and attacks. His blade flashes with amazing speed, cutting straight toward the target. However, the strike only hits a tree stump. This trick completely shocks the assassin. Just then, Zhang Yan appears from behind and charges, declaring he has won using a simple trick. Lu Yuan looks conflicted. An F rank has actually pushed him this far by using the terrain and plants to create an opening. Looking at Zhang Yan, he feels both shock and respect. He can't imagine how strong Zhang Yan would be if he had an A rank class instead. Still, he refuses to lose. Raising his dagger, he reminds himself that Zhang Yan is just an F rank while he is an S rank. Losing here is unacceptable. Without waiting, Lu Yuan activates his Gale Ring shield. A strong wind barrier appears, blocking our boy's path completely. Seeing the shield, Zhang Yan is briefly surprised. He realizes Lu Yuan has already passed level 20 and unlocked a new skill. Even so, his confidence doesn't drop. His steel sword isn't just for show. The pressure from his sword grows, making cracks appear on the shield. Meanwhile, Zhang Yan's own sword vibrates under the huge force. Then, with a loud boom, the barrier shatters. Energy explodes everywhere as the shield breaks. The remaining force slams into Lu Yuan, launching him far away. Our boy watches his opponent fly away and briefly thinks about chasing him. But this isn't a life or death fight, and more importantly, Lu Yuan isn't a bad person. In fact, Zhang Yan remembers that in his past life, Lu Yuan bravely led his family to fight against the monster invasion. Far away, Lu Yuan lies miserably on the ground. His body aches all over and his stamina is completely gone. Even so, he still refuses to admit defeat. The fight isn't over. If Zhang Yan gets close, he plans to shoot a wind blade at point-blank range to cripple him and keep fighting. At the same time, another thought hits him. As an S rank, he should be way above ordinary geniuses. Yet an F rank has pushed him into this desperate corner. The more he thinks, the crazier it seems. Lu Yuan finally realizes an F rank can become terrifyingly strong, though he still believes an S rank has better potential. Just then, he sees Zhang Yan walking toward him. Thinking the fight will continue, Lu Yuan secretly readies a dagger for a final attack. But as he prepares to strike, something unexpected happens. Zhang Yan stops in front of him and calmly holds out his hand. Lu Yuan is stunned. Confused, he stares at the hand, unsure of what is going on. Then Zhang Yan speaks, saying the fight is a draw and calling Lu Yuan truly strong. Still confused, Lu Yuan asks what he means. Zhang Yan smiles and explains that Lu Yuan is a worthy opponent, so he considers the match a tie. Lu Yuan stares in silence before finally understanding. There is no mockery or pride in Zhang Yan's eyes. It is genuine respect. Zhang Yan doesn't look down on him. He recognizes they are equals. His face softens as he accepts a hard truth. There will always be a higher mountain and someone stronger. Afterward, the two young men firmly shake hands. Looking at Zhang Yan, Lu Yuan admits he is a true rival. However, he promises to beat him fair and square at the upcoming freshman tournament. Hearing this, Zhang Yan tells Lu Yuan to train hard and get stronger, or he might not even qualify to be his opponent next time. Later, Lu Tao drags the exhausted Lu Yuan away. He angrily yells at Yan, calling him a punk and warning him to watch his back for beating his brother. Before he can continue, Lu Yuan stops him and tells him to watch his mouth. He demands that Lu Tao show Yan the same respect he gives him. Hearing this, Lu Tao obediently nods. A smile appears on Lu Yuan's face. He declares that he will go all out and defeat Yan the next time they meet. From a distance, Yan watches them leave and replies with a faint smile. Inwardly, he finds this amusing. If Lu Yuan had actually gone all out from the start, the battle would have been decided the moment he used his first skill. After all, the Gale-Rending Slash has far more variations than Lu Yuan realizes. There are countless ways Yan can exploit that skill. Despite the joy of finding a worthy opponent, he feels slightly disappointed. After such a fierce battle, he has gained almost no actual rewards. Since it ended in a draw, he even has to return the dagger. The whole fight feels like working for nothing, causing Yan to let out a quiet sigh. Before he can think about it anymore, something nearby catches his attention. Whatever it is, it definitely isn't ordinary. He suddenly realizes it must be connected to the battle. Lu Yuan's gale. Slash likely hit something hidden, forcing an invisible presence to reveal itself. Judging from the strange energy, it seems to be a special poisonous mist. Yan grows curious, realizing that investigating it might lead him to a boss-tier monster. That chance alone makes it worth checking out. Yan quickly uses his modification skill, changing his damage immunity into poison immunity. For the next 20 minutes, he will be completely immune to any toxins at D rank and below. Seeing the effect work, Yan nods in satisfaction. With this active, he doesn't need to waste any of his antidote pills. Confident in his preparation, he walks toward the source of the fog, wondering what exactly is hiding inside the poisonous mist. Following the energy, Yan finds a large lake covered in a thick, toxic mist that spreads in all directions. He observes it and notes that the toxicity is coming from the center, meaning the whole lake is dangerous. He wonders if a legendary poison dragon lives there and decides to find out. Yan jumps straight into the lake and swims toward the center to find the source of the toxic aura. However, he only sees weak monsters swimming around. None of them are strong enough to create such a powerful poison. Just then, a massive shadow suddenly appears in front of him. The water shakes as a level 18 ice-armored crocodile emerges from the depths. It opens its huge jaws and charges straight at Yan. Yan quickly dodges its attack. The beast clearly sees him as prey and wants to swallow him whole, but Yan remains completely calm. As the monster chases him, Yan feels pleased rather than threatened. Since it came right to him, he gladly accepts the free materials it offers. Without wasting time, he launches his sword with perfect aim. The blade shoots forward like lightning, piercing right through the monster's mouth. At the same time, the sword's armor penetration effect activates, completely ignoring its defenses for a deadly strike. The single hit kills the monster instantly. Yan summons his sword back and examines the huge corpse. Seeing its size, he realizes it will never fit inside his storage ring. Fortunately, he has another idea. This is the perfect time to test his new dismantle skill. The skill lets him break down items level 10 or below into usable materials. It also has a 10% chance to trigger a critical reward, which doubles the materials he receives. Curious about the results, Yan aims his hand at the corpse and uses the skill. Blocks of light instantly cover the beast's body. The dismantling process starts, and within moments, his new items appear before him. First, he gets crocodile bones for crafting basic weapons. Next comes the meat and the hide. The hide is especially useful since it offers great ice resistance. Yan stores the items in his ring while checking their value. The hide catches his eye the most, so he decides to keep it for future use. After organizing his loot, he glances behind him and realizes the environment has completely changed. The thick poisonous mist is now drifting much closer. He has been so focused on fighting that he didn't realize how near he is to the source. Now very curious, he turns toward the center to see exactly what is hiding inside the fog. As he walks through the mist, he slowly approaches its exact origin. Soon he can clearly see the terrain. The toxins have corrupted everything around him, making Yan wonder if he has just struck gold. Being cautious, Yan decides to observe the area from a safe distance first. When he finally sees what is hiding there, his eyes widen in pure amazement. A level 43 poison dragon is sleeping right in front of him. It is a growing female dragon that is already laying eggs despite its terrifyingly high level. Yan stares in shock. It really is a poison dragon, and even though it isn't fully grown, it clearly has incredible strength. A confident smile crosses his face. As a legendary monster, it will probably reach level 70 once it fully matures. He then notices the nearby dragon eggs. Using his crafting skill, he can boost their potential. Stealing them will give him an incredible reward. He justifies stealing the eggs by looking at the human skeletons scattered around the dragon. Taking them will be a perfect revenge for all the people who died there. Suddenly, the area shakes violently like an earthquake. The ground trembles under Yan as a deep rumbling sound fills the air. Yan looks up, wondering if his guess is right. A moment later, his fears are confirmed. Another giant poison dragon flies down from the sky, creating strong winds with its wings. It is carrying a freshly killed boar in its claws. Seeing this, Yan quickly understands. Of course, there has to be a male dragon too. The male dragon lands and gives the boar to the female. Knowing he can't beat even one dragon, Yan wisely decides to retreat. He will just have to return when he is much stronger. Yan sneaks away without any disappointment. In fact, his next goal is now clearer than ever. Smiling softly, he knows he just has to keep leveling up. Once the time is right, he will return to claim those precious dragon eggs. If he pulls this off, nobody in Nanrong City will ever challenge him for the top spot. Now, Yan focuses on his next task. He needs to sell his gathered materials, so he heads to the black market to finally cash out. Shortly after, he arrives at Nanrong City's massive underground black market. Rumor has it that a level 60 grandmaster runs the whole place. Thanks to this person's powerful background, the market can operate safely out in the open. Walking through the busy market, Yan remembers what he knew from his past life. The authorities usually ignore the place unless something major happens. This hidden protection allows endless deals and covers up plenty of dark secrets. Eventually, Yan stops in front of a shop he recognizes. Based on his old memories, it is one of the most reliable stores in the market. Inside, a woman is smoking while two men try to negotiate. One complains about how hard they worked for their loot and begs for a slightly better price. Unmoved, the woman calmly states she is already offering the best price on the street. If they don't like it, they can leave. Her eyes then drift past the men and land on Yan at the entrance. She casually asks if the high school kid has something to sell too. The two brothers turn to Yan. One of them mocks his cheap clothes, doubting that he could possibly own any valuable goods. The other brother points at the door, telling him to get lost and stop wasting the boss's time. In response, Yan simply raises his hand to show off his storage ring. He casually mentions that he doesn't really have anything special to sell. Seeing the storage ring, the brothers freeze. They stare in total disbelief, wondering how a kid like him can afford such an expensive item. Without explaining, Yan holds out his hand and says, "This is all he has." Piles of monster materials instantly appear on the counter. The goods include all the rare items he has gathered from his recent dungeon hunts. The brothers are completely stunned, and even the owner looks surprised. Spotting the crocodile hide, she wonders if this kid has actually survived the deepest parts of Poison Dragon Valley. Then, Yan reveals his best item. It is a rare magic crystal he has gotten from the miasma toad. The brothers stare with wide eyes, their minds going blank from shock. They both stand there wondering who this mysterious kid really is. Ignoring their reactions, Yan calmly asks the shop owner to tally everything up and tell him the final price. He adds that she should hurry. After all, he doesn't want to delay the two brothers who are practically drooling over his priceless treasure. Zhang Yan sits with Boss Chin inside her VIP room. After reviewing his goods, she confirms the materials are worth 78,500 and the magic crystal is 150,000, bringing the total to 238,500. Handing him a VIP card, she explains the entire amount has already been deposited on it. Zhang Yan smiles, praising her for being so straightforward. Before he can take it, she adds that the gold card makes him a VIP customer. If he brings more magic crystals later, she will buy them at a 10% premium. Zhang Yan gladly accepts the card and thanks her. Walking to the exit, he thinks about his choice to trade with her. In his past life, she had always been fair and reliable. Still, he knows the VIP treatment means she clearly values his future potential. Outside the shop, Zhang Yan spots two suspicious figures smoking cigars. He just smiles, knowing they pose no real threat at his current level. Navigating the underground market, his mind shifts to his goals. To get national-level resources, he has to become Nanrong City's top scorer. Meanwhile, the two shady brothers watch him and drop their cigars. One jokes about making a fortune, while the other agrees they need to teach the kid not to flaunt his wealth. Fully aware he is being followed, Zhang Yan casually walks into a dimly lit area. He thinks about spending his new money on armor, since having only 2 weapons isn't enough. Just as he expects, the brothers trail right behind him. He had noticed a heavy scent of blood on them the moment he entered the shop earlier. Given their suspicious loot, he easily guesses they have robbed other victims. Turning into a deserted alley, Zhang Yan figures that taking them out will just be a way to earn some good karma. Thinking they have cornered him, the brothers reveal themselves. One laughs that Zhang Yan chose his own grave, while the other adds his body will rot before anyone finds it here. But our boy simply turns around and smiles, mocking them for being so slow. Liu Dali, a level 17 butcher, steps up and mocks Zhang Yan for being just a student. Beside him, Xu Yong, a level 16 poison master, boasts that Zhang Yan will soon join their list of victims. Zhang Yan sarcastically replies that he is terrified, pretending his F-rank crafting class is no match for them. His mocking tone bruises their egos, and they angrily demand to know why he doesn't look scared at all. Smirking, Zhang Yan openly admits he is making fun of them. Enraged, Dali lunges with his dagger and uses his slash skill to unleash a flurry of rapid strikes. Beside him, Xu Yang activates Poison Coat, covering his own weapon in deadly venom. Watching their attacks, Zhang Yan calmly raises his hand. This is the first time since his rebirth he has used his skill on humans. He activates Modify, instantly changing Slash into Self-Slash. Instead of hitting Jiang Yan, the skill forces Dali's arms to violently hack his own body as he screams in panic. Yang watches in horror, but before he can react, Poison Coat is modified into Consume Poison, instantly turning the venom against him. Blood pours from Yang's mouth as he violently coughs and collapses, clueless as to how he poisoned himself. As the criminals suffer, our boy casually walks up and asks if they are done. Then, his voice turns cold as he declares it is his turn to attack. He draws his sword pointing it at them and notes all the murders and robberies they have committed over the years. Their karma has finally caught up. Shortly after, both men are dead. Searching their gear, Zhang Yan finds wanted posters with their faces. He briefly considers claiming the bounty but decides it would attract too much attention. Continuing his search, he finds a wolfskin trench coat in their loot. It is level 10 and E-grade quality, which is perfect since he actually needs armor. It looks ordinary, but Zhang Yan just smiles. With his modify skill, a single changed word can turn trash into treasure. Activating the skill, he modifies the wolfskin trench coat into a killinskin trench coat. The coat instantly evolves into A-grade armor. Its defense and agility spike, and poisons below D rank can no longer harm him at all. Zhang Yan puts it on, finding a perfect fit. Modifying equipment names always gives amazing results. Magical Qilin patterns are now embroidered across the fabric, providing him with a solid early upgrade. Pleased with his new gear, Zhang Yan decides to head home. With the exams approaching, it is now his sister's turn to surprise everyone. Back home, his sister Yao is busy studying the top-tier magical beast races. She easily remembers dragons, qilins, and phoenixes, but struggles to recall the fourth one. Suddenly, Zhang Yan walks through the front door carrying a large pile of groceries, calling out for her help. She rushes over, totally stunned by the sheer amount of supplies he has brought. Her eyes quickly catch his new trench coat. It looks like impressive armor, so she naturally asks where he got everything. Grinning, Zhang Yan proudly says he earned it through his own skills. Then he surprises her by saying he is raising her allowance. Yao shakes her head, insisting that 50 yuan is already enough for her. Our boy completely disagrees. Handing her a stack of cash, he raises her monthly allowance to 500 yuan, telling her to just ask if she ever needs more. Shocked, Yao immediately wonders if her brother has done something illegal to get so much cash. Before she can worry, Zhang Yan lightly taps her head and tells her to stop overthinking. Changing the subject, Zhang Yan reminds her about tomorrow's exam rally. Smirking, he casually says he'll just go through the motions at his current level, promising to take her out for a nice meal afterward. However, Yao catches on to that detail and curiously asks what level he is right now. Showing off, Zhang Yan casually replies that he is merely level 20. The casual tone leaves Yao completely speechless. Zhang Yan knows exactly how impressive that is. Normal students only reach levels 10 to 15 before the exams, and only the true geniuses break into the 16 to 20 range. Anyone surpassing level 20 usually has powerful families backing them, since breaking that threshold requires huge resources. Looking at his hands, Zhang Yan knows he only reached this height because he accidentally killed the Demon King's clone. Without those massive benefits, leveling up would have been extremely difficult. Later that night, Zhang Yan stands on the rooftop under the starry sky. While farming aura, he thinks about the future. Once he becomes the city's top scorer, a path of new resources and opportunities will open up. Looking out over the city, a confident smile forms on his face. The exams are fast approaching, and he is more than ready. The next day, Nanrong High School's gym is packed with students for the annual college entrance exam rally. Principal Ouyang Li gives a speech to the seniors. He tells them that after years of hard work, their chance to change their destinies is finally here. Zhang Yan listens quietly from the crowd. He knows the speech is a bit cliché, but the exam really is the best way for awakened students to change their lives. Awakened students generally have 4 paths based on their exam results. Top scorers will enter elite universities to explore demon lairs. Supported by the state, they will get endless resources and a bright future. The second path is for those with good grades who miss the elite schools. They can join the military to guard demon territories. With government support, they can eventually become powerful military leaders. The third path is for average students. They will attend normal universities and likely join the Guardian Knights. Though they receive fewer resources, it is still a great option for people with average talent. The last path is the hardest. Students who fail the exam will return to normal city life, never achieving anything great. Sadly, this normal life is the fate for most people. Only 20% of awakened students ever make it to the first 3 paths. The other 80% will remain ordinary. This is the harsh reality of a world invaded by demon lairs, where the weak are simply left behind. Soon, the principal finishes his speech and asks the teachers to screen the students. Anyone at level 15 or above will skip the preliminary test. With that said, the principal officially starts the selection process. Murmurs quickly fill the gym. Many students look sad because they have not reached level 15 yet. Meanwhile, Zhang Yan stands confidently in the crowd. Even though he did not experience this in his past life, he knows the rules. Since his strength is high enough, he expects to skip this test. His teacher soon announces that 5 students in their class have passed level 15, but he quickly adds that only 4 of them will skip the test. The teacher then calls Zhang Yan's name. Even though Zhang Yan is past level 15, he still has to take the test because he has an F-rank, non-combat class. Zhang Yan looks disappointed as the students start whispering. Many feel it is unfair to make him test just because he is an F-rank. They sigh, knowing things would be different if he had a combat class. Not everyone feels bad for him though. His main hater, Wei Hong Wei, sneers and says this is exactly what F-rank trash deserves. Seeing this, the teacher pats Zhang Yan's shoulder. He knows Zhang Yan is talented and tells him not to feel down, but this is the school's decision and he cannot change it. Hearing this, Jiang Yan smiles confidently. He says he understands and is totally fine with taking the test. Our boy's calm attitude makes Hongwei angry. He wonders how our boy can be so relaxed when everyone knows his skills, meaning the others will definitely target him first. A whistle blows, starting the preliminary exams. This cruel test places 10 low-level students in a free-for-all fight. Only the winner can take the college exam, leading to a huge 90% elimination rate. Soon, several matches end. Before long, Jiang Shui from Class 9 wins her group match. From the stands, Principal Wu Yang and Vice Principal Zhu Kang watch the fights. Zhu Kang coldly says that students still under level 15 have no real future. He points out that most of them only have weak D or E rank crafting classes. However, Principal O Young interrupts, saying this year is different. He mentions Zhang Yan, who has been top of his class in academics and fighting for 3 years. Zhu Kang remembers him well. He admits he used to have high hopes for Zhang Yan, but sadly, Zhang Yan only awakened an F rank class. Looking at the principal, Zhu Kang asks if he really understands what an F rank means. E rank used to be the lowest rank, but as extremely weak crafting classes appeared, people started calling them trash classes. To sound nicer, officials later renamed these terrible classes to F rank. No matter how smart or skilled Zhang Yan used to be, Zhu Kang believes the class gap is impossible to beat. He thinks Zhang Yan has zero chance of winning. Principal Wu Yang disagrees. He reminds him that a famous level 70 fighter also started with a weak class. He warns Zhu Kang not to underestimate hard workers like Zhang Yan. At that moment, the referee blows the whistle for Group 17 to get ready. Several students enter the arena, including Zhang Yan. While everyone else holds weapons ready for battle, Zhang Yan walks in empty-handed and calm. Since he promised to treat his sister to a nice meal, he does not want to waste time here. The other students start talking. One notes that our boy has been the top student for 3 years and is already level 20, which is much higher than the rest of them. However, a spearman points out that despite his talents, Zhang Yan is still just an F rank. He suggests they all team up to beat Zhang Yan first, and then decide the true winner later. Hearing this, Zhang Yan just smiles. Since he is in a rush, he casually invites all 9 of them to attack him at once. This hurts the pride of the combat students. As warriors, assassins, and archers, they think Zhang Yan's confidence is pure arrogance. Determined to teach the F rank a lesson, all 9 students raise their weapons. They charge at Jiang Yan with full force, wanting to prove that hard work can never beat class gaps. Watching from above, Zhu Kang narrows his eyes and says the real show is finally starting. On the battlefield, Jiang Yan stays calm. He raises his hand as his storage ring glows brightly. He tells them their weapons are weak as he bought a great sword using resources from Poison Dragon Valley. The next moment, a sword appears in his hand. This shocks both principals. First, they notice his super rare storage ring. Then, Zhu Kang realizes the sword is an A-rank weapon made by a high-level expert. Before anyone can react, Zhang Yan dashes across the field. He moves so fast that the crowd only sees a blue blur. In an instant, he passes all 9 enemies and stops a few meters away. Striking a cool pose to earn some style points, he tells them to get lost. The students in the stands are stunned. His amazing speed is far beyond their expectations, making them wonder if he is really an F rank after all. Strangely, none of his enemies look hurt. The spearman yells that while our boy is fast, his attacks did nothing. He thinks Zhang Yan just has high-speed stats. Hearing this, Zhang Yan slowly turns around and asks if that is really the case. Suddenly, the 9 students feel something strange. Their collars rip apart and fall to the floor at the exact same time. The whole arena goes completely silent in shock. The students realize the scary truth. If Zhang Yan wanted to kill them, they would all be dead already. They finally know they are no match for him. Meanwhile, Zhang Yan keeps his cool pose and stands silently. Without hesitation, all 9 enemies raise their hands and surrender. The referee announces Zhang Yan as the winner of Group 17. Walking away, Zhang Yan thinks about the official exam starting in 3 days. Now that he has won the test, he can finally return home and take his sister out for that nice meal. At the same time, he cannot help but chuckle. Showing his sword in this fight gives him a great excuse for owning such a weapon. This way, no one will bother him about it later. Up in the stands, Zhu Kang is still amazed. He cannot believe an F-rank student is this strong, but Principal Wu Yang just smiles, knowing that anyone who survived Poison Dragon Valley is much stronger than what Zhang Yan just showed. The principal tells Zhu Kang that even the famous Lord Huo was not this amazing in his youth. This time, the vice principal can only nod in agreement. Staring at Zhang Yan as he leaves, the principal wonders if their school might finally produce a top city scorer through an F-rank student. The battle royale carries on as groups steadily crown their winners. Soon the referee announces Zhang Deqiao from Class 24 as the winner of Group 68. This marks the official end of the preliminary exams, leaving 68 students to advance. In the winner's waiting area, Zhang Yan sits alone, sipping coffee and organizing his thoughts. Nanrong No. 1 Middle School has over 1,000 students per grade. With 68 groups, roughly 680 students took the preliminary test. Adding those exempt for being above level 15, over 500 graduates from his school alone will enter the official college entrance exam. Since Nanrong City has 19 high schools, Zhang Yan estimates he will face nearly 10,000 opponents. Claiming the top spot against such a massive crowd will be a tough challenge. Suddenly, someone sits down next to him. Zhang Yan turns and is surprised to see Principal Ouyang Li. He wonders why the principal approaches him. Noticing his reaction, Ouyang smiles, reminding Zhang Yan that he has ranked first in academics and martial arts for 3 years. Having given him multiple awards, there is no need for surprise. Zhang Yan smiles, replying that the principal is also one of Nanrong City's 12 guardian deities. It is natural for a normal student to feel starstruck. Ouyang laughs and pats Zhang Yan's back, teasing him for his flattering words. With a warm smile, he admits he would be thrilled if Zhang Yan brings the top scorer title back to their school. Our boy simply stares at him in shock. He points out that their class has 3 S rank and 6 A rank awakeners. With such geniuses around, why is the principal so confident in an F rank? Ouyang smiles without hesitation, asking what being an F rank matters. After all, even he, a city guardian deity, only has a C rank class. Looking right at Zhang Yan, he explains that true strength comes from the person, not the class. Humanity's greatest power is the courage to fight stronger opponents. These words move Zhang Yan. He realizes this leader is unlike the others. Though they rarely interacted in his past life, he now sees that Ouyang never judges anyone by their class. A faint smile crosses our boy's face as he thanks the principal. He promises to give his all to win the top scorer title for their school. Satisfied, Ouyang raises his fist with a grin, declaring it a promise between men. Zhang Yan bumps fists with him and they both share a laugh. The other students stare in jealousy, confused by their passionate conversation. Some joke that the principal still acts like a fired-up teenager despite his age. That evening, Zhang Yan keeps his promise and takes his sister out for dinner. Walking through the streets, Zhang Yan feels tonight is the perfect time to celebrate before tomorrow's exam. Since their parents passed, they have lived simply and never visited such nice places. Stopping in front of a beautifully decorated restaurant, Yao looks up and asks if they are really eating there. Smiling, Zhang Yan points at the sign for Elrose Premium Wagyu grilled meat and confirms it. Yao's eyes widen in shock. She knows this restaurant from the internet. It is incredibly expensive and requires booking well in advance. Our boy confidently shows her their reservation, proudly stating he has prepared everything. The siblings pause outside, admiring the elegant building. Yu realizes how much effort her brother has put into this surprise and doesn't want to ruin his mood. Even though it is pricey, she figures she can balance their budget by spending carefully in the coming months. Mostly, she just wants him to enjoy his night without worries before his big exam. The luxurious restaurant greets them with a warm glow and private tables where wealthy guests dine. Once seated, a waitress asks if they want individual items or a set meal. Zhang Yan instantly orders set meal C, knowing it includes all the signature dishes. The waitress promises to prepare their food shortly. Seeing their plain clothes, she is quietly surprised by their big order. Yao leans in and nervously asks if set meal C is the most expensive option on the menu. Zhang Yan casually nods and even encourages her to order anything else she likes. Yao is stunned. This one meal costs almost 10 months of their living expenses. She cannot help but worry if her brother is doing something illegal to get this money. A loud commotion suddenly breaks out near the entrance. A student yells for an immediate table because of tomorrow's exam, despite lacking a reservation. This is Wang Ju from No. 7 Middle School, a third-year student with a C-rank combat class. The waitress apologizes, explaining they only take reserved guests. In response, Wang Ju threatens to destroy the restaurant if he doesn't get a table. Watching this, Yao whispers to Zhang Yan that their waitress is being harassed. Zhang Yan glances over and casually mutters that the seniors from No. 7 Middle School are absolute trash. Unfortunately, Wang Ju hears him. He demands Zhang Yan repeat those words if he has the guts. Marching over, Wang suddenly recognizes Zhang Yan as the famous F-rank student from No. 1 Middle School. Leaning in with a sneer, he mocks our boy's low rank and threatens to beat him with his C-rank power. However, Zhang Yan simply ignores him and takes a sip of water. He then splashes the water right into Wang's face, apologizing with a fake innocent look and claiming his hand slipped. Furious, Wang Ju activates his beast skill. His arm swells with demonic ape energy, doubling his strength. As he swings his heavy fist at Zhang Yan, Yao screams in terror. But before the punch can land, someone grabs Wang's arm and stops him cold. The newcomer is Lu Tao. Glaring coldly, he demands to know what Wang is doing. Wang is shocked and quickly greets him as Brother Tao. He knows Lu Tao is a B-rank fighter in the top 15 of their school. Smirking, Wang tries to explain that he is just teaching an F-rank a lesson and asks Lu Tao to stay out of it. Instead, Lu Tao slaps him hard. He angrily asks how Wang dares to attack his brother, leaving the crowd frozen in shock. Confused, Wang insists there is a mistake since Zhang Yan is just an F-rank nobody. Just then, another familiar face steps forward. It is Lu Yuan. He calmly states there is no mistake, adding that if Lu Tao had been any slower, Wang's arm would be broken. The crowd instantly recognizes the S-rank genius from the Lu family. Everyone is stunned to see one of their top 3 students defending an F rank. Seeing him, Zhang Yan smiles and casually greets him as Xiao Yuan. This nickname flusters Lu Yuan, who quickly begs Zhang Yan not to call him that in public. Watching this, Wang Ju and his crew feel like they are dreaming. The F rank they insulted is casually joking with the famous Lu Yuan, who isn't even angry. Zhang Yan then asks Lu Yuan why his classmates lack manners, offering to resolve the matter his own way. Wang Ju goes pale at those words. Cold sweat drips down his face as he stares at Zhang Yan in pure terror. The weak student he mocked suddenly feels like a terrifying demon, leaving Wang wondering who he has actually messed with. Wang Ju is shocked seeing an F rank like Zhang Yan casually talking to an S rank powerhouse like Lu Yuan. Not wanting to waste any more time on these clowns, our boy tells the bullies to apologize to the waitress and leave right away. The thugs quickly bow and apologize to the staff. Then they run out of the restaurant as fast as they can, while the waitress hopes they never come back. After that, Lu Yuan mentions how funny it is to run into them here, though he says he would rather face our boy in the college exam finals. Taking a calm sip, Zhang Yan throws the challenge right back with a wink. He tells the genius to work hard, because if he fails to reach the finals, they will not even get to fight. This cheeky answer catches the S rank off guard. He just huffs and promises to settle things when the real tournament starts. Watching him leave, Zhang Yan thinks about his rival. He admits that even though they compete a lot, Lu Yuan is actually a good guy at heart. Finally, the food arrives as the staff brings out set menu C, which is filled with huge pieces of premium Wagyu and pork belly. Just hearing the names of this expensive meat makes Yao's eyes sparkle. Before today, she had only seen such fancy food on social media. Diving into the meal, Zhang Yan enjoys the taste of freedom. This amazing food is completely different from his sad past life as a lab rat. Meanwhile, his sister happily eats, feeling super lucky to have a brother who treats her so nicely. While eating, Zhang Yan asks Yao if she wants to know who those guys were and how he met them. Yao just puts her fork down and brushes the question off, saying it does not matter to her. She promises that no matter who he becomes, he will always be her brother, which leaves our boy completely speechless. This touching moment makes him even more determined. He silently promises to keep this world safe no matter what, just to protect his family. The big day finally comes. Thousands of students gather at the city square right under a huge demon rift, listening to the announcer say that their future will be decided today. Walking through the busy crowd, Zhang Yan laughs a bit. Even though everyone else took off their school uniforms for this big day, he chose to keep his on. He did this to keep his promise to Principal Wu Yang. By wearing his school colors proudly, everyone will know exactly who he represents when he takes the top scorer spot. Soon, the chief examiner takes the stage to explain the rules. The students must hunt monsters in the rift to earn points, and only the top 100 on the leaderboard will make it to the finals. Everyone checks their sensor bracelets. These devices will automatically count points based on the monsters they defeat, but they only have a strict 6-hour time limit. After wishing the crowd luck, the examiner orders the huge gates to open, and the countdown instantly starts ticking down. The excited students rush forward in a crazy stampede. They scream battle cries as they charge straight toward the high point monsters. While everyone else runs in a hurry, our boy just walks calmly. He carefully thinks about the hidden details behind these simple rules. He realizes that the battlefield, the sinister demon forest, is a really smart choice. It has monsters ranging from level 15 to 25. Unlike his last hunting spots, this place does not have crazy boss monsters. Instead, it has many different types of beasts with mixed strengths, making it perfect for finding the real geniuses. Stepping through the portal, Zhang Yan goes straight into the spooky green forest. He quickly spots purple barriers floating up in the trees. These are magic shields made by the city's strongest fighters to keep the highest level monsters away and keep the students safe. Even though he never took this exam in his past life, our boy basically lived in this forest when top experts used to train him. So, he knows the area better than anyone else. Nearby, other students are already trying to find a smart way to win. They start teaming up to clear monsters faster, even if it means sharing the points. A group quickly forms with a classic team setup. They have tanks, healers, mages, and archers ready to clear the area together. As Zhang Yan walks past them, one of the girls asks him what class he belongs to. When he calmly says he is an F-rank farmer, the group stops being friendly. They laugh, wondering how a weak class even got into the exam, and tell each other to stay away from him. Being ignored because of his rank is nothing new, and Zhang Yan admits to himself that he is pretty used to this by now. Still, he just smiles. He knows that proving everyone wrong and breaking their expectations is exactly what he loves to do. With that in mind, our boy jumps up onto a rock and pulls out his glowing blade. He is ready to become a legend in this exam right now. Back outside, the city's school principals gather in the observation room to watch the scores. Principal Zhang is super excited, saying the race for the top spot has been really close lately. Then Principal Sima proudly jumps in, bragging that his school has 4 S-rank geniuses this year. He feels very sure they will take the #1 spot again. Principal Ouyang speaks up from behind them, calling out Sima's closed mind. He points out that Sima is only an A rank himself but is not any stronger than him, proving that judging people just by their class is foolish. Sima laughs and asks if Ouyang is talking about that F-rank student from First High. He jokes, wondering if Ouyang actually believes a weak class student can become the top scorer. Zhang agrees that class rank is not everything, but he coldly adds that an F-rank student does not even belong on the same stage as real elites. Ouyang calls their words complete nonsense. He defends Zhang Yan, reminding them that his student broke several records back in the training base. He promises them that Zhang Yan is going to blow their minds, telling them to just wait and watch the screen. Sima just scoffs, saying the training base is only a playground for kids. Zhang mocks First High for having no talent this year, leaving Ouyang grinding his teeth in anger. Suddenly, barely 5 minutes into the exam, a huge loud noise breaks out in the room. The leaderboard flashes with the very first kill of the day. The principals gasp in shock at how fast it happened. They all assume it must be a genius from a rich family, but Ouyang instantly wonders if his star student did it. Seeing the name on the board, he cannot help but smile. He silently praises our boy for doing the impossible. At the same time, Sima and Zhang are sweating in shock. They cannot understand how an F-rank student could take down a strong monster so quickly. The screen shows the real deal. Zhang Yan is sitting comfortably at rank 1 with 36 points, proudly showing off his F-rank class to everyone in the room. Right at that moment in the forest, Zhang Yan is super happy with his luck. He ran into a level 20 monster right after entering the area. As 3 high-level wolves get ready to jump at him, our boy just smiles. He gets ready to take their points and secure his huge lead. Facing Zhang Yan are 3 level 21 black-striped fierce tigers. He quickly recognizes them as some of the forest's strongest monsters. He recalls that exam points are awarded based on the defeated beast's strength. Unfortunately, any monsters killed during the test will disappear, meaning he cannot collect their valuable materials. Sighing over the wasted resources, Zhang Yan mutters, "What a shame." Suddenly, the 3 tigers roar and charge at him with killing intent. Zhang Yan shows no fear. Gripping his Qinggong sword, he rushes forward. For a normal examinee, fighting a pack of these tigers is just as hard as facing a boss monster. However, he isn't normal anymore. Even the wealthy families in Nanrong City cannot easily afford gear like his Qinggong sword and Qilin skin coat. As the first tiger lunges, Zhang Yan's sword flashes, cutting it down instantly. A system notification confirms the kill, rewarding him with 900 experience points. Seeing its companion die so easily, the second tiger roars and activates its innate skill, black-striped brute force, boosting its strength and agility by 15%. Zhang Yan just smiles. He loves fighting opponents who rely on skills. Raising his hand, he activates his Modify skill to instantly alter the beast's ability. The skill becomes black-striped weak force, completely reversing its effects. Instead of growing stronger, the tiger's stats drop by 15%. This sudden weakening leaves the beast stunned, creating a fatal opening. Zhang Yan's sword sweeps across its neck, easily beheading it in a single strike. Another notification pops up, rewarding him with 950 experience points. Watching the others fall, the last tiger loses its courage. Instead of attacking, it turns and flees. Zhang Yan simply smirks. It is already too late to escape. In one smooth motion, he throws his sword. The blade shoots forward like lightning, piercing the tiger's jaw and killing it instantly. Another 900 experience points are added to his total. He calmly retrieves his weapon and looks deeper into the forest. Stronger beasts mean more exam points. Without looking back, he pushes deeper into the woods. His goal isn't just to win first place. He wants to become the greatest legend of this year's exam. Meanwhile, in another part of the forest, a young man checks the rankings on his bracelet. Zhang Yan is sitting at the very top with 136 points. The young man is Zhao Ao, a level 19 B-rank combatant. He cannot believe an F-rank trash has topped the leaderboard, especially since it means beating his senior, Yu Feng. Beside him stand twin claw fighters, Xu Li and Xu Lang. Disbelieving, Xu Li points out that Yu Feng has an S-rank class and shouldn't be losing to an F-rank, which Xu Lang agrees with. Convinced that Zhang Yan is cheating, Zhao Ao smiles as a dark idea crosses his mind. If he is playing dirty, they will just return the favor. The twins nod without hesitation. To them, only Yu Feng deserves to be the top scorer. Elsewhere, Zhang Yan defeats a level 20 wild bull, earning another 800 experience points. However, he notices something strange. The deeper he goes, the fewer powerful monsters he actually encounters. While he is thinking, applause echoes behind him. A voice praises him, noting that the current first-place holder truly lives up to his reputation. Turning around, Zhang Yan calmly asks who they are. Zhao Ao introduces his group as students from number 3 middle school and politely asks to form a team. Jiang Yan instantly declines and keeps walking, which catches the trio off guard. To him, their fake smiles make their hidden motives painfully obvious. Seeing the quick rejection, Zhao Ao rushes forward to block his path. Lowering his voice, he makes what he thinks is an irresistible offer. He claims they have found a beast lair full of high-level monsters. If Jiang Yan wants to keep his top rank, he will definitely need those extra points. Standing behind him, the Shu brothers chuckle, pretending to support the idea. Jiang Yan studies Zhao Ao's expression and quietly analyzes the situation. Out of thousands of students, these three have specifically tracked him down to offer exactly what he needs. It is an obvious trap, so poorly hidden that he actually finds it amusing. Since they want to play dirty, he decides to show them what being outsmarted truly feels like. Faking interest, Jiang Yan asks if the lair is real, admitting he has been worried about finding enough monsters. Zhao Ao secretly celebrates, convinced that Jiang Yan has taken the bait. He smiles warmly while sneering on the inside. He promises it is all true and urges him to hurry before someone else finds it. Jiang Yan nods and agrees to go with them. As they walk deeper into the woods, Zhao Ao silently laughs. Once they are alone, they plan to beat Jiang Yan out of the exam so he cannot threaten Yu Feng's rank. While walking, Zhao Ao remembers a past conversation with Yu Feng's father. The man promised that if they remove anyone threatening Yu Feng's rank, he will use his influence to get them into the military. Since they only have B and C rank classes, the boys know the military offers a much better future than a regular university. Snapping back to reality, Zhao Ao grins. They originally thought only S-rank geniuses could rival Yu Feng, but somehow this F rank has taken the lead. It feels like a gift from heaven. Taking down Jiang Yan will perfectly guarantee their military careers. Suddenly, Jiang Yan points right, staring into the distance. He happily claims he can see the monster lair over there. Before anyone can reply, Jiang Yan dashes toward it. Caught off guard, Zhao Ao wonders what he is doing. Fearing he might escape, Zhao Ao quickly orders the twins to chase him. The three of them sprint after him, refusing to lose sight of their target. Soon they arrive beneath a massive ancient tree. Seeing no other students around, Zhao Ao's eyes light up. This isolated spot is perfect for an ambush. He silently signals the twins. Understanding immediately, Shu Li and Shu Lang bare their metal claws to attack Jiang Yan from both sides. However, just as they move, a massive claw drops from above and snatches Shu Li before anyone can react. A gigantic level 25 blue-winged condor spreads its wings overhead. It is a deadly quasi-boss monster. Zhao Ao and Shu Lang freeze in horror, watching their friend get carried away like helpless prey. Desperate to save his twin, Shu Lang charges forward, screaming his name. The giant bird simply circles above, before suddenly diving straight at him. Its huge beak crashes into Shu Lang, sending him flying backward with brutal force. Watching this unfold, Zhao Ao goes pale. He has no idea why such a terrifying boss monster would spawn here. Then his gaze slowly shifts to Jiang Yan. He finally notices the faint smile on the boy's face. His heart sinks. They haven't trapped Jiang Yan at all. They are the ones who have been lured into a trap. Meanwhile, Jiang Yan remains completely calm. From the start, he knows this part of the forest far better than anyone else. He usually avoids this area because blue-winged condors are incredibly dangerous. Now though, this beast is the perfect weapon against his attackers. Realizing the truth, Zhao Ao furiously asks if Jiang Yan has planned this all along, accusing him of deliberately leading them into a boss's territory. Jiang Yan looks back with an amused smile. He calmly reminds Zhao Ao that they tried to play dirty first, so returning the favor is only fair. A dark grin spreads across his face as he crushes Zhao Ao's pride. When it comes to playing dirty, they just aren't on his level. Zhao Ao finally realizes that our boy has been playing them like a fiddle from the very beginning. With a smug smile, Jiang Yan asks if they really thought an F-rank class made him an easy target. Without another word, he summons his A-rank sword from his inventory, making it crystal clear that they picked a fight with the wrong guy. Enraged, Zhao Ao immediately activates his fast blade skill, boosting his attack speed by 30% as he charges forward, determined to cut Jiang Yan down. However, the attack never lands. Jiang Yan effortlessly parries the strike before firing back with a single slash that instantly shatters Zhao Ao's sword. Staring in disbelief, Zhao Ao can't comprehend how an F rank possesses such overwhelming power. Before he can even process what happened, he coughs up blood and is sent crashing into the dirt. Knowing that students die during these entrance exams every single year, Zhao Ao is convinced that Jiang Yan is about to finish him off. Instead, our boy simply sends his sword back into his inventory and coldly tells the terrified bully that trash like him isn't even worth killing. After all, Jiang Yan is a law-abiding citizen with no interest in murdering random nobodies. Unlike these small-time bullies, he's focused on something far more important, becoming the undisputed top scorer of all Nanrong City. Just as he's about to leave, someone desperately grabs his leg. It's one of the twins, bruised and barely able to move, begging Jiang Yan to save his brother. Looking up, They see the giant vulture carrying its prey away through the sky. In desperation, the injured twin repeatedly slams his forehead against the ground, admitting their mistake and pleading for mercy. Seeing this reminds Jianyan of his own sister, causing his expression to soften. Moved by the boy's determination, he agrees to help. Picking up a small pebble, he calmly tells the twin to watch carefully before declaring that he'll show them the true gap between their strengths. The next second, he flicks the tiny stone into the sky like a speeding bullet. It pierces straight through the level 25 beast's chest, bringing the massive creature crashing to the ground in a single hit. Just like that, Jianyan earns a massive reward of 1,500 experience points along with 50 exam points. As he walks away, the rescued twin slowly forces himself upright, coughing in disbelief. Even now, he can hardly believe that an F rank defeated a boss monster so effortlessly without suffering a single scratch. Suddenly, the twin rushes toward Jianyan, still intent on crippling him. Before he can get close, however, his brother steps in and stops him. Confused, he demands an explanation, only to be met with a hard slap across the face. His brother furiously reminds him that Jianyan just saved his life and warns that neither of them is ever to raise a hand against our boy again, no matter the cost. Watching the exchange, Jianyan is relieved to see that at least one of them has some common sense. With enough time already wasted, he turns around and heads deeper into the forest to hunt more monsters and rack up additional points. Although he can freely use his modify skill inside the forest, doing so during the upcoming Top 100 arena tournament is completely out of the question. With city elites observing every match, even the smallest mistake could expose his secret ability and put him in serious danger. Facing A rank and S rank prodigies without relying on his strongest skill won't be easy. Superior combat technique alone won't be enough to overcome opponents blessed with absurd abilities. Because of that, Jianyan decides to prepare another trump card. Using Modify, he permanently rewrites his 5 non-combat tinker and farmer skills into combat-oriented abilities, giving himself new ways to fight without revealing his true secret. With his plan set, he searches for another monster nest to test these new combinations while continuing to grind for even more points. Every second matters, so our boy sprints deeper into the forest, determined to widen his lead. Meanwhile, inside the observation room, the principals from the rival schools grow increasingly anxious. With less than 10 minutes remaining, the rankings are looking disastrous for their students. In complete contrast, First High's principal Ouyang Li bursts into laughter, proudly applauding as his star student continues dominating the leaderboard. Moments later, the rankings update once again, revealing Jianyan comfortably sitting in first place with nearly 2,000 points, leaving every S-rank genius far behind. Ouyang Li can't hide his excitement, thrilled that his faith in Jianyan has been fully rewarded. Meanwhile, the other principals are left completely speechless. None of them can understand how an F-rank student has somehow managed to score nearly twice as many points as the second-place prodigy. Watching quietly from the back of the room, Chief Examiner Luo Sheng finds this mysterious dual F-ranker increasingly fascinating, wondering what kind of monster they've just discovered. Deep inside the forest, Jianyan rests atop the remains of yet another monster nest that he cleared entirely by himself. Opening his status, he sees his final score climb past 2,100 points. Right then, the countdown reaches 0 and the system officially announces the end of the exam. Hearing the announcement, Jianyan smiles, satisfied that everything wrapped up at the perfect moment. Thanks to the countless monsters he defeated, he has successfully transformed all 5 of his innate skills into powerful combat abilities. Now fully prepared, Jianyan turns his attention toward the upcoming Top 100 arena tournament, ready to make it the stage where he shocks everyone once again. The exam officially comes to an end, and the announcer declares that anyone outside the top 100 is dismissed and should simply wait at home for their admission notices. The crowd is crushed. Students break down in tears as the harsh reality sinks in. Without reaching the top 100, getting into a first-rate university is almost impossible. For most, even earning a place at a second-tier school would already be considered a miracle. Meanwhile, Jianyan calmly walks through the crowd, unaffected by the disappointment surrounding him. He knows that even among the 10 elite universities there is a clear hierarchy, with the legendary 3 national prestige universities standing above all the rest. Each follows a different philosophy. Glory University believes in taking the fight directly into the demon rifts to conquer new territory. Legacy University dedicates itself to protecting humanity by sealing unstable rifts. Sacred University, on the other hand, pursues a balanced path of offense and defense. Only those who rank within their city's top 30 can even apply to these prestigious academies, yet admission guarantees a place among humanity's future elite. Jianyan already knows exactly where he belongs. However, before he can dwell on the thought, Wang Qingfeng interrupts him, reminding him that the announcements are over. The top 100 tournament begins in 3 days, and the principal has summoned all qualified students immediately. Jinyan casually asks whether Wang Qingfeng also made the top 100. Offended, Wang Qingfeng quickly reminds him that he ranked second in combat at first high, just behind Jianyan, so qualifying was never in doubt. Jinyan pays little attention. His decision has already been made. He intends to enter Glory University. In his eyes, monsters inside the demon rifts will only continue multiplying, and unless humanity expands its territory through relentless offense, it will forever remain on the defensive. To him, the greatest defense has always been overwhelming offense. Curious, Jin Yan asks about Wang Qingfeng's plans. Wang Qingfeng confidently replies that his score should place him comfortably within the top 80, making admission to either Radiant University or Primordial University, ranked 8th and 9th, an easy goal. Naturally, he asks Jian Yan the same question. When Jin Yan calmly answers that he's aiming for Glory University, Wang Qingfeng freezes in disbelief. He grabs Jin Yan, convinced he's lost his mind. After all, Glory is the nation's #1 university. Jin Yan simply brushes his hand aside. As far as he's concerned, once he claims Nanrong City's top scorer title, entering Glory will be the obvious next step. Seeing his confidence, Wang Qingfeng tries to reason with him. Fighting ordinary monsters is nothing like facing S-rank and A-rank prodigies in a real tournament, and Jian Yan's F-rank abilities shouldn't be able to compete. Midway through his warning, however, he abruptly stops, realizing his words might crush Jian Yan's confidence. Embarrassed, Wang Qingfeng quickly changes the subject, pretending to complain about how unfair fate is because those top geniuses completely outclass even his own B-rank class. Relieved that Jian Yan seems unaware of his slip, he lets out a quiet sigh. Yet Jian Yan sees through the act immediately. He finds it amusing that his rival is genuinely trying to protect his pride, unaware that his true abilities are beyond anyone's imagination. His thoughts drift to his legendary Modify skill, now at level 3. From his previous life, Jianyan knows it can only be upgraded with incredibly rare S-rank skill orbs, priceless treasures dropped by powerful boss-class demonic beasts. Back then, after being treated as little more than a laboratory test subject, level 3 was the furthest he ever reached. Even so, Modify already allows him to rewrite the very nature of his equipment, transforming ordinary gear into authentic divine-grade artifacts. Compared to their true forms, the imitations of his Qilin coat and Cyan steel sword are nothing more than cheap replicas. Since skill orbs rarely drop even from apex monsters, Jin Yan decides his best chance is to search the underground black market, although he doubts he can currently afford one. Just then, Principal Wu Yangli approaches, praising Jian Yan's outstanding performance and declaring that the entire city witnessed his overwhelming strength. Wang Qingfeng is left speechless. The eccentric principal has never openly praised a student like this before. Jian Yan, however, calmly points out that the upcoming arena tournament will be an entirely different challenge. Alarmed, Wang Qingfeng hurriedly whispers for him to show more respect. Ouyang Li simply laughs and jokingly asks whether Jian Yan is already planning to give up, while Zhu Qiang sneers, assuming the boy finally understands his own limits. Instead, Jin Yan confidently declares that quitting has never crossed his mind, because Nanrong City's top scorer title is already as good as his. Ouyang Li bursts into laughter, while Zhu Qiang mutters that the boy is unbelievably arrogant. The principal then announces that everyone will immediately begin an intensive week-long training camp where elite instructors will forge them into true fighters. Soon, Ouyang Li gathers everyone inside First High's indoor martial arts stadium and explains the live combat training plan. The qualified students are divided into 3-person squads under their respective grade heads. Since First High produced exactly 10 qualifiers this year, 9 are assigned to the faculty. The lineup is exceptionally strong, including S ranks Xu Zhengyan, Qingji, and Xifeng, A ranks Wang Qingfeng, Yang Hongwei, and Zhu Ziling, along with the skilled B ranks Zhao Ying, Mo Yu, and Liu Li. The school's strongest instructors take charge. Liu Yun, head of physical combat, promises to toughen them up. Qian Yu, the close quarters specialist, warns them not to expect mercy, while Sun Yue reminds everyone that battlefield strategy can be just as deadly as brute strength. As the teams are assigned, Yang Hongwei immediately demands to know why Jian Yan is exempt while everyone else is being thrown into brutal training. Ouyang Li simply smiles before revealing that Jian Yan's instructor will be on an entirely different level because he will personally train him. The announcement leaves both Yang Hongwei and Wang Qingfeng completely stunned as they realize the principal himself intends to spar with Jian Yan. A chill instantly runs down Jian Yan's spine. Ouyang Li is far more than a school principal. He is one of Nanrong City's 12 guardian deities and a terrifying level 61 grandmaster. Even the veteran teachers are stunned. Throughout all their years at First High, they have never witnessed the principal personally mentor a single student. At that moment, Jian Yan realizes his secret may be in real danger. A guardian deity wouldn't personally train him without a reason. The old man is almost certainly trying to uncover the limits of his true strength, and Jian Yan has the uneasy feeling that this eccentric principal is about to put him through the most painful training of his life. The moment instructor Qian Yu orders everyone to follow him out to the outdoor training grounds, Yang Hongwei loses it. He loudly complains that it is completely unfair for Jiang Yan to get the entire indoor stadium to himself while the principal personally trains him. Even Wang Qingfeng, who is already tired of Hongwei's constant whining, has to admit he has a point, since kicking all 9 of them out for one student does seem a bit much. But before the complaining can spread, S-rank genius Qing Ji shuts Hongwei down cold, calling him a painfully average loser and telling him that if he wants the stadium so badly, he should try actually taking first place on the leaderboard. Hongwei is furious, while Qingfeng has to hold back a laugh at the massive emotional damage Qing Ji just dealt. That insult, however, is not the real reason she spoke up. Secretly glancing at Jiang Yan, she reminds herself that our boy dominated both academics and combat for 3 straight years, which means his real strength is insane no matter what his F-rank rating says, so she decides she needs to get on his good side before he enters one of the top 3 national universities. In fact, she even decides that marrying him into her family would be a perfect plan. Jiang Yan, of course, has no idea any of this is happening. All he knows is that her tongue is vicious, so he quietly resolves to keep his distance and never piss her off. Inside the stadium, meanwhile, the principal excitedly kicks off the first round of exclusive training for his #1 ranker. Striking a dramatic pose, he proudly names the program the first high top scorer project. The vice principal immediately snaps at him to act his age. Watching all of this, Jiang Yan realizes the chuny allegations against his principal are true. Ignoring the scolding anyway, the principal introduces Jiang Yan's first combat instructor, Ms. Zhang Yun. She steps into the ring, greets him politely, and warns him that she will not be holding anything back. As a level 51 B-rank leopard spirit brawler, she is an absolute powerhouse, and Jiang Yan immediately understands what that means for him. His very first sparring partner is the undisputed best melee fighter in the entire school, which proves the principal is pushing him to the absolute limit from day one. After all, she is the grand champion of the regional combat tournament and has beaten over 1,000 opponents into the dirt. Back when she first joined the school, she easily crushed every single teacher who questioned her, and that is exactly how she earned her terrifying nickname, the 3-punch Dream Crusher. Sweating under the pressure, Jiang Yan sarcastically thanks his principal for throwing him to the wolves right away. Jiang Yun, on the other hand, stays completely casual, telling him to use whatever weapon he wants and promising to scale her stats down to match his, before asking what level he actually is right now. His answer stuns the room, because he spent the entire preliminaries aggressively hunting beasts and pushed himself all the way to level 22. The principals realize our boy literally used a high-stakes national exam as his personal grinding zone. To Jiang Yan, though, this is simply the magic of national-level resources, since having endless monsters to hunt under the protection of top-tier elites makes leveling up incredibly easy. Impressed by that resourcefulness, Zhang Yun sets one simple rule for their session. If he beats her, he passes. Determined to push himself even harder for more resources, Jiang Yan draws his sword, warns her that he will not be holding back either, and immediately charges forward, remembering all the while that this woman has been his combat instructor for 3 years. The truth, however, is that he has never beaten her, not in this life and not in his last one. Even so, he is confident that his past life level 70 combat experience will finally give him the win. Unfortunately, she effortlessly slips around his strike and calmly points out the massive opening in his stance. Before he can even react, she lands a devastating punch that shatters his confidence and sends him flying into the ropes, forcing him to admit that she is still absurdly strong. Despite that brutal blow, Jiang Yan refuses to give up, dragging himself back onto his feet and charging straight back in. Soon, the horrific sounds of that one-sided beating start echoing through the entire school. Outside, Sifeng stops training and curiously asks what that weird thumping noise is. Yang Hongwei mockingly assumes the principal is just making Jiang Yan hit a punching bag, sneering that an F-rank loser will not get any stronger anyway. Instructor Qian Yu, however, is sweating in absolute terror because he knows that specific sound way too well. He recalls how his entire physical combat department became subordinate to the live combat department after he took a single devastating punch from Ms. Zhang during their job competition, and he confirms that the brutal thuds coming from the stadium are the sound of her fists hitting a human body. Panicking, he orders his students to stop eavesdropping and focus on their own training while silently wishing Jiang Yan good luck in surviving the session. By 3 in the morning, the principal and vice principal are still watching, stunned that the kid is somehow still standing after such a brutal beating, and the vice principal quietly admits to himself that he severely underestimated Jiang Yan's resilience. Covered in bruises, our boy can barely stay on his own feet and is running purely on raw willpower. Seeing his terrible state, Jiang Yun offers to call it a night and resume tomorrow, warning him that he will not be beating her tonight. But Jiang Yan refuses, since the top 100 tournament is only 3 days away and he has no time left to rest. He even smiles and boldly claims he is already confident he can take her down, which is exactly the kind of talk that makes her charge straight back in. Building up massive momentum, she throws another strike, telling him that plenty of arrogant people have said those exact words to her. Her fist lands cleanly as she proudly declares that close quarters combat is her absolute specialty and that none of those talkers ever backed up their words, then yells at him to finally stay down while the impact sends him flying backward once again. What she does not realize is that this is precisely the moment he has been waiting for. Suddenly, Jiang Yan smirks, grabs the ring ropes, and uses them to launch himself into a massive flip right over her head. Caught completely off guard, Jiang Yun understands far too late that she walks straight into his trap, and by then his kick is already flying toward her face. The hit lands clean on her jaw, turning her own momentum perfectly against her. Our boy smiles and declares that he is the one winning their sparring session.